think about it now.
You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog.
Whoa, whoa.
My name is Kinsey. I'm your host, and joining me today, we have one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media, and the man who's never lost a debate, Skip Bayless.
Yeah, Skip.
Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, and 2-time All-Pro quarterback, Aqib Talib.
Yeah.
3-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl winning safety, TJ Ward.
Yeah.
And, of course, the king of quarterback breakdowns and top 5 passer in the USC Trojans history, Cody Kessler.
Yeah. So I was reading USA Today's top 60 ranking of all Super Bowl teams, and I go through all 60, and then I get to honorable mention, and I go through 10 more to the very last team mentioned. It's the 2015 Denver Broncos.
Wow.
The last honorable mention team.
I played.
Come on, man. You guys are better than that, right? So you didn't make the top 60 or to all the way to the bottom of honorable mention?
Who did the rankings?
USA Today.
Probably the same motherfuckers who left Bill out.
Yeah.
Probably them
At
same
this
motherfuckers.
point, we
that
can't
ranked.
trust anybody.
Sometimes when you so great, they got to hate. So,
That's how I go.
Man.
Is that it?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
So where would you rank yourself?
out of Super Bowl teams,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we got one of the best quarterbacks of all time on our team, right?
He was kind of at the end of his run.
I mean, but he
Yeah.
still was
Yeah.
Peyton
But yeah,
Manning, right?
Peyton
Yeah.
Manning, Hoffman.
We got one of the top defenses of all time, right?
You got one of the best pass rushers ever.
We got one of the two of the best pass rushers ever
Well, yeah.
on the edge. So that's with those qualifications alone, I think we top 20 at least.
Top 20, that's fair.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
At least, right?
Yep, just
Like,
on defense alone.
just on paper alone, stardom alone.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you feel me?
watching a lot of Super Bowls, every Super Bowl. I mean, I could count on definitely 2 hands how many teams that could have gave us some work, if any. And I'll
Right.
keep it a book.
Yeah, so
So-
they had the 85 Bears #1 overall, and that was the greatest defense I ever saw. Just on badass defense
Man,
that no one had ever seen
if
before.
you run a 4-6, you can't be the greatest defense to me. You ain't seen 11 personnel.
Exactly. Y'all like they was going against 3-point stance receivers. So
they
feel me? It looked like
You know what I'm saying?
10
Like,
old linemen lined
they
up
was
across
running
the
against the
field.
wing
So
team.
Hey,
I give them they flowers.
terrorized everybody they played.
They did.
They did.
in that era,
Okay.
you feel I
So
don't
you
know.
think you would have beaten the 85 Bears?
Payton would have tore their
Toe 'em
ass
up. Toe 'em up.
Payton would have tore that shit up.
I'm afraid it would have been just the opposite.
Yeah, right.
48-year-old Peyton at that point.
Man, Payton would have tore their ass.
Hey, I know one thing. It would have been hard for them to play in space. We going 11, get DT and E outside. You know,
Man.
One of them 270-pound linebackers got a guard Ronnie Hillman out the
Yeah,
backfield.
it's ugly.
It's over with.
You know what? I don't think Peyton would have lasted 1 quarter. Seriously, at that age and that stage, I don't think he would have
Would
lasted.
have just got the ball and threw it quick, Skip. Like,
Yeah,
he would have got touched.
real quick.
Very quick. And who was their receivers? We still don't know. I would have been bored as shit. That would have been the easiest game of my life.
They
Still
scored
don't
with
know.
their defense.
They scored with their D linemen.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's how bad it was. You're better.
What technique are you playing against a 3-point stance wide receiver?
Zero press. Everybody in the box.
You getting in a 4-point right
Everybody
in front of him?
box. I'm going to mush his head to the ground. They snap this shit.
All right, boys.
We've got some blasphemy in here right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
That's a fact.
it's just a different time.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
like, in the future, them future teams probably going to look at us like, these guys just not that good.
I think they're
Because
doing that right now.
They probably are because
Yeah.
the game is just getting better and better and better. So, at least top 20, though. That's my opinion, man.
All right.
All right, boys, let's get into the show because we have a really special one, and we have a special guest joining us later. And I know you always brag about your Super Bowl ring. We're going to humble you today because this man's got 3.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh,
Man, right
So
there.
we're gonna have Julian Edelman on the show later, which is gonna be great because we got a lot of Patriots talk to talk about. We also, the Browns finally have their next head coach. Was hiring Ted Monk in the right move for them and Shedeur, and then we maybe have a little drama in Denver. What's going on between Bo Nix and Sean Payton? Should that be a concern? So as always, you guys, this episode is presented by Underdog. And if you're new to Underdog, now's the time. New customers get $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play just $5 on fantasy and a gimme pick to get started. So support the show, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code GRID. So let's talk about the Browns, because after several candidates turned down the interview for the Browns head coaching job, they finally made their hire, and it will be former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Monken also was an offensive coordinator for the Browns in 2019. He turns 60 next Thursday, so this will be his first head coaching opportunity in the NFL level, but he does have 3 decades of experience as assistants in both college and pro, and he had a small stint of head coach with Southern Mississippi. So all of us are intrigued on what's going to happen with Monken, but he did get to meet Shedeur today, and the Browns posted that on social media, so I want to see that.
What's going in at? Oh, yeah.
Hey, young man.
What's up? Good to see you, bro. How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
How we doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year. It's all worked out.
For real.
That's
You remember that, right?
that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, sit down.
We tried to draft your ass last
Yeah.
year. I like that energy, though.
I like it, too.
Obviously, he's feeling Shedeur. So, Aqib, give the Todd Monken hire a letter grade.
I went with a B-.
Okay.
And I like it. I'm gonna tell you what the minus is at the end, but I like Shedeur being paired with a offensive-minded coach. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he liked Shedeur. I think he liked Shedeur. I don't think they would have brought him in if he didn't have a good plan for Shedeur. So I like him being paired with Shedeur, and shit, he a damn great OC. You know, the Ravens offense been top of the league last 3 years, and before that, he won the Natty 2 times with Georgia, and they fucking dropping buckets. I know that's college, but still, he got a little head coach experience with Southern Miss, like you mentioned. Actually won the Conference USA Coach of the Year his last year there. You know what I'm saying? So running the building is running the building. So he got some experience running the building. They wasn't too good in the first couple years. That third year, they made a bowl game. They was a lot better. He got Coach of the Year, so he figured something out. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to the next level with it. So the minus come from you probably going to lose your defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he feel played, he ain't get the job.
Yeah.
So that's where the minus come in at. So as far as the offense and Shedeur, I think it's a good fit, man. A guy like Monken, he tailors his offense to the quarterback. What you do well, he going to tailor that offense to you. You know what I'm saying? So I love that about him. Now you just got to find a defensive coach that the defensive guys will relate to and who they going to fuck with, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I give it a nice B-. If Schwartz would have stayed, I would have gave it a B+ for real. I would have really liked it a little bit better. But, you know, it come with the territory, man.
Yep.
So B- from Lieb.
All right.
Man, I give it an A.
Do you
I
really?
give it an A, man. I was with Monkey in my last year playing a full season in Tampa Bay, man.
Wow.
He's a very easy to get along with coach, man. He's a player's coach. He has that coolness about him, even though, you know, a little bit more mature than a lot of coaches are being hired now. But, you know, every time I seen him, he was like, hey, TJ, always in great spirits, always complimenting you, always keeping your spirits up. And that offense, they was doing work. You know, Mike Evans and Winston and, you know, even the running backs we had that year in Tampa, you know, we turned the ball over a little bit because Jameis gets a little loose with the rock. But other than that, man, he comes in with a very balanced offense. He likes to run the ball, pass the ball. He's broken records in Tampa Bay for most passing yards and rushing yards. In Baltimore, what he did with Lamar, and then even with the tailback coming in, who thought he would do better than he did in Tennessee? I mean, you know, they rushing for 4,000 yards and passing for, you know, the most yards in the league. And then, you know, going to Georgia, winning back-to-back national championships was crazy. Even when he was his first stint in Cleveland. What he did with that offense, right?
Yeah,
you could argue he was the reason for Stefanski getting Coach of the Year.
Freddie Kitchens called the plays.
Calls the plays.
But your offense coordinator is still heavily involved in game planning and all that.
He's putting everything together. If it's the Legos, he's stacking it. He may not be getting the credit for the end point, but you know, he had a lot to do with that. So I think it's an A. I think Shedeur is going to benefit greatly from Monken. And first and foremost, I like, efficiency. Great on third down. Balanced attack, running the ball. Don't turn the ball over. The principles that he's going to install when he gets to Cleveland is going to help his young quarterback drastically. Pre-snap identification, making it easy on your quarterback. Now, I think defensive coordinator, is something he can find, right? Schwartz didn't get the job, so, of course, he's a little upset about that, but
He not going all the way yet, right?
no, not yet. Not
He
yet.
just pissed off.
I think he comes back.
He under contract,
No.
so really.
He is.
hey.
I think it'd be great for him to come back, to put his pride to the side and be like, hey, man, we got a great team. I've done great with this defense. I'm not going to get a head coach job nowhere else. Might stay with the dogs that I got here.
You feel me?
Shit, and improve
They the
this
ones who
defense.
had
I got.
to
Yeah.
get
You feel me? Anyway, and the talent, and we talking about the roster. You could go to another team, and you're not going to have no Myles Garrett.
Denzel
You're not going
Ward.
to have the defensive rookie of the year at linebacker, Denzel Ward, shut down corner.
Delpit. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? You got a squad.
Exactly.
So you stay right there. Get on the bandwagon, man, and y'all could be great. I
It's
think
gonna be all right, Schwartz. Just
they're gonna be straight.
relax,
I
baby.
think
Yeah.
we got a playoff berth for the Browns coming real soon.
Ooh,
Real soon.
I like it.
that's hopeful for sure,
Yeah.
Cody.
I gave it a B. I didn't love it at first when it was first announced. I was thinking that they were going to go more along the lines of a younger offensive-minded head coach, like a Shieldhouse, the guy we talked about last week.
Yep.
The more that I sat with it and thought about it, I'm going to choose to be optimistic about this hire. I know Jim Schwartz hasn't been a head coach in the NFL before, but like you mentioned, he did turn around a program at Southern Miss. They were 0-12 when he took over.
Yep.
They won 9 wins, or had 9 wins his final season. But he also has been coaching for over 35 years, and he's worked with some great head coaches. Most recently, he was with Kirby Smart at Georgia, and then with John Harbaugh with the Ravens. Now, I'm with you guys. That was my first question, is once I saw this hire, what's going to happen with Jim Schwartz? Because that defense has been really good under Schwartz. I know they have a lot of talent, but who's calling that defense matters, and I think that's going to be a big loss for them if he does end up walking away and doesn't come back. But it's clear that Andrew Berry, going into this hiring cycle, was willing to take that risk, and he wanted to bring in an offensive-minded head coach for good reason, because obviously that's where their focus needs to be. The last 2 years combined, they've been dead last in points scored. They haven't had a top 10 offense since 2004. I think Monken can get him over that hump because he's shown that he's been able to do it. Really, over the last 2 seasons, someone's calling?
Sorry.
Really? No, you're good. Over the last 2 seasons, or really the last 5 years, Monken has been one of the best minds in all of football. Won 2 national championships at Georgia. During that time, too, they were averaging 40 points per game in the SEC.
Yep.
And he helped Stetson Bennett become a Heisman finalist, and then that transferred over to Baltimore as well. You have, Lamar Jackson won an MVP in 2023, and then 2024, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and had 900 rushing yards. You mentioned, too, the run game. Derrick Henry has been second each of the last 2 years in rushing yards and 32 rushing touchdowns during that time. But the thing that I love most about this hire for Monken and his offense is the versatility within his scheme. He's not the type of coach that's going to come in and say, you need to adapt to what we do. He's going to adapt the offense and accommodate the players that are on that roster. Stetson Bennett and Lamar Jackson are 2 completely different type of quarterbacks, but both of them had a ton of success in your offense. Why is that? It's because of the versatility that he has as a play caller. He's going to have some flashes and some tendencies of the air raid offense. He's going to have some tendencies of the spread offense with the RPO system and the zone reads with the quarterback that I like for Judkins. He's also going to get in some of that 12 personnel, multiple tight end sets with Njoku and Fannin Jr. and get them involved with the offense. So I really like this hire. And then the last thing I'll say is with the quarterback situation, as a head coach with Monken too, being around a lot of offenses, when you go to a team, the most important thing really is the quarterback. You got to have a quarterback to be successful. After Fernando Mendoza in this draft, since Dante Moore's not coming out, I wouldn't say there's a first-round quarterback that could come in and make an impact right away.
Yeah.
And then when you look at free agency too with the Browns, they're 27th in salary cap space, and there's never a guarantee anyways if there's a guy that you want in free agency at quarterback. So he looked at this roster and said, I can win with these guys, which is a confidence boost for Shedeur Sanders. And it's also a confidence boost with Deshaun Watson, depending on what they do with them in that competition. But I love that video. Him talking to Shedeur saying, I finally got you. I've been in that position before as a young quarterback with a new coach, and to have a coach come in and have that confidence in you, that gives you a lot of optimism going into the offseason.
Okay, you guys have all made really good points, and you almost convinced me and won me over, especially you, going all the way to an A. But I'm going to stick with my B. I don't hate it. I love a lot of things about it. But I say all this with like a big sigh because I guess I got my heart set on Nate Shieldhouse after we talked about it on Monday. They were out here all day on Monday, Jimmy Haslam, all the management staff, and they spent 7 hours with 35-year-old Nate Shieldhouse out here understudying with Sean and the Rams. And I thought it would have been great for Shedeur for those two to grow together. And I care about your Cleveland Browns, your first team, only because of Shedeur Sanders. And I care about his future because I believe in his future. And I believe he was exactly right. The first thing that came out of Shedeur's mouth when he was asked on the field before his first start out at Las Vegas, how he felt, and he said, I'm what they've been looking for. That's the truth. That's the God's truth. He is what they've been looking for. Is Todd Monken what they've been looking for? I don't know, because I'm not going to make too much out of what we saw in the video when they hugged and he said, we tried to draft your ass. Well, here's the truth about that. That happened earlier in the 5th round. So he didn't try to draft his ass in the 1st round or the 2nd round. It was all the way into the 5th round. So they were just in the same boat with Cleveland. And Ozzie Newsome is looking at it saying, well, God, we'll take a flyer on him in the 5th round. And so Ozzie called Dion, obviously Shedeur's father, and said, we're thinking about this. Will this work for you guys? And Dion said, no, because Shedeur wants to go someplace where he'll have a shot. And Lamar's just too good, man. I mean, he's going to be perennial Pro Bowler for the next, 10, 12 years. And Shedeur doesn't want to be stuck behind that. And as it turned out, Tyler Huntley was pretty good as their backup, wasn't he? So it was a bad fit for Shedeur. Shedeur made the right choice because, my God, he did get his shot, right? He got to start 7 games when I was pretty sure at the first of the year he'd start no games. Mm-hmm. And not only did he start the 7, but he showed me a lot. Maybe he didn't show others. I think he showed you a lot, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. A lot of flashes on film.
So I'm hopeful that Todd Monken is being authentic with Shedeur. You know, like, hey, I believe in you, young man. Let's go. Let's get together. Let's get out on the practice field and go to work. But look, I'm going to bring this up again, and I've asked you guys about this. It's very disturbing to me what's happened to black head coaches in the National Football League. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I keep bringing it up because it keeps rearing its ugly head. But as I look at it right now, and by the way, Nate Shieldhouse is a young, he's the only black offensive up-and-coming star coach that I know of in the whole pipeline. Well, that's just wrong. I mean, something's going south here where with black head coaches, we got D'Amico Ryans thriving in Houston. And after that, help me out. Because Todd Bowles, I was a little surprised he was able to keep his job. And, man, I'm looking at the Jets, and I'm not sure Aaron Glenn's going to hang on much longer. Now all this runaway speculation about John Gruden's going to get that job that Woody Johnson wants John Gruden. So I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm just looking around at, will Raheem get a shot in Arizona? Now they're saying Clint's going to get whichever job he wants between Raiders and Arizona. That's what Adam Schefter's reporting. Mm-hmm. It's just disappointing. That's why I wanted Nate Shieldhouse to get a shot, because I think he could be, like we're going to talk about Sean Mannion. He's a Sean Mannion type where if you give him a shot, he just might go places. And I thought he fit Shedeur better because as great as Todd Monken was with Lamar the first 2 years, that last year, it fell all apart. And so it concerns me a little bit how Todd will fit with Shedeur. I don't know for sure, but I don't know how you guys feel about.
I think it fell apart because Lamar was broke up. You know what I'm saying? But it says,
well,
it says a lot to me that that Huntley, his backup came in and played.
He did.
So that's an attest to the OC, in my opinion. But as far as the coaches, man, it's just it's developing. Like you said, Shieldhouse is one of them. It's more guys who quarterback coaches, like Troy Smith, a quarterback coach. If they offense keep improving, he'll be an OC sooner or later. So
maybe
it's guys in the pipeline, running back coaches, Bieniemy. If he go to
went
Kansas
back.
City,
Well, he went
if
back,
he go to
yeah.
Kansas City and he's successful, he might get a shot.
But he was successful, and he didn't get a shot.
He
Yeah.
was, but it's conversations like this. We stir the pot enough, Skip.
Well, I hope
Put
so.
that pressure on their ass. You know what I'm saying? So
One guy to keep an eye on too is my guy JT Barrett. He's been
JT
really
Barrett is
good
another
developing
guy.
Caleb, but he's a quarterback coach right now with Chicago.
Exactly.
I was a
I
big
hope
fan of
so.
him in college. Got to know him well. I've heard a lot of great things. He's a damn good football coach.
So I think it's guys in place though. It's guys who under Ben Johnson and they're in place right now.
Yeah.
Under Sean McVay. If they keep on being successful, their name is gonna come up. They're gonna get an OC job. If they're not the OC, then boop, they'll get their shot like everybody else. So
Yeah.
it just take time, Skip. Hey, it take time for us in this league, man. It's just like everything else. It's
It's
a
a reflection
process.
of real society out there, right?
Exactly.
It's the same thing that happens in your daily CEO type situations in the normal working world. So it's gonna take some time, but it's more than enough qualified candidates. But I just like the Tom Monken hire because of his track record. And when you do that and have that track record with so many different styles of players, different places, and it's always the same results, even at Oklahoma State with Blackman and Brandon Wheaton, had them on fire, was throwing for 1 million yards.
Yeah.
It's his first chance.
He
at
wasn't
a
calling
head coaching
plays
job.
there, but go ahead.
It's
The head
first,
coach calls those plays.
This is first time getting a head coaching job, spending all this time in the NFL. So I think maybe they just wanted to go with somebody that had more proof in the pudding, I guess.
I think they named the OC, but for a minute I thought Monken was gonna bring Troy Smith with him, just for that relationship with Shedeur like he had with Lamar. I thought
What
he was gonna
about,
bring him with him and name him the OC. That would have been
Leftwich too. He's out there.
nice. Yeah, Leftwich out there. So I thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't. Who he named, Cody? You probably know. Oh, the Browns named somebody. Who they named?
Did they name offensive coordinator already?
Yeah, I think they did.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I think they named somebody.
I don't think so yet.
No, I'd seen
Yeah,
something.
if they did, I didn't see it. I didn't see it last night. When
I think they
prepping.
named somebody. Kinsey probably could find it, but I think they did. Yeah, there you go.
Travis Switzer.
Barry
Oh,
sisters
okay.
relation.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm actually surprised. So 3 of you are agreeing on a B. You got a B minus, but a B, and then you have an A. You're the only one with a personal relationship with him, so you give it an A.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it personal, but I got some time spent.
Time
right.
spent.
I just see how he operates around the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Which is
that's
important.
very
That's
important.
important.
How you
And
interact
he's
with
been
your
a coach
players.
in your facility.
Yeah, that was my first year in Tampa. I was going through a miserable time just leaving Denver, right, getting cut right before the season. But I noticed him. I'm like, yo, this is a good coach. He a good dude.
Okay.
He has a great relationship with his players. And shoot, we was airing shit out on offense. We couldn't stop nobody on defense.
Yeah.
But they was putting up numbers on offense. Mike Evans, he was killing. I forgot the tight end we had, but shoot, he was a no name, and he was putting up numbers. Still don't remember his name, but he was balling.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for a coach to actually give Shedeur Sanders a real shot, some
So
real
let me
coaching.
say one last thing before
ahead.
we go to the next question. I wanted Brian Flores, because you know him well, I wanted him to get a shot because he belongs being a head coach in this league. So I wanted to tell you that I did talk to a high-ranking black official in the NFL who told me, and didn't want his name associated with this, but he said, and I quote, that Brian Flores is the kind of black man who scares white people. And I agree with that because Brian Flores is a powerhouse to me, and he's his own man, and he's authoritative and commanding, and he's a really good football coach, obviously on the defensive side. The best coaching job I saw all year by a defensive coordinator was Minnesota at Dallas on Monday Night Football, where he just toyed with them with his 8-man fronts, and Shoddy and Dak had no answer for that the whole game. And I know for a fact that he wanted the Baltimore job, and we brought it up early that he belongs in Baltimore, and they went with Jesse Minter. So I don't know. Remember, he did sue the NFL for discrimination, so that may be held against him by some owners, but he deserves a head coaching job and would have been perfect for Baltimore to me. He would have turned that around in a heartbeat. But
Flo got that strong personality.
he's got it.
It's-
Yeah.
It ain't going nowhere. Whoever hires him, they're going to have to deal with that shit. It is what it is. So, hey, man, sometimes that personality, I deal with that shit. Sometimes it helps you. Sometimes it hurts you.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's part of it. It's part of what makes him a dominant-ass DC because he brings that same energy.
Yeah,
and
obviously the Vikings love him in that role, right? Because they went right out and extended him and said, if you get a head coaching job, God bless you, but we want you here.
If you stay here. So
as they should, because it wasn't just the Cowboys struggling with that defense. It's a lot of offense.
The Lions, a whole lot of people.
A lot
I thought
of
Vance Joseph did a great job against that Cowboys offense as well.
He did.
That was one of the best call games that I've seen all year too. Because he had them boys struggling, Skip.
He did.
Struggling.
Yeah. All right, let's get to a little drama, huh? Because it's with your Bronco boys, Sean Payton. Sean Payton and Bo Nix seem to not be on the same page about Bo's injury. Sean, on his exit interview, shared it was a pre-existing injury, and Bo didn't seem too happy about Sean sharing his medical history. So let's take a listen, because we kind of got both sides here going.
A condition that was like predisposed right at that, they always find a little bit more when they go in. And it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good.
He said he had one in high school. And then he said he had one at Auburn.
I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you. But, because I don't, he doesn't really even know that.
So we just got two completely different stories here and sides of the, and I don't feel like they're a unit right now. So TJ, Sean Payton, is the Bo Nix, Sean Payton thing a big deal or no?
It's definitely a deal. It's something to deal with, but I don't think it's a huge deal. But I definitely agree with Bo. And coaches say it all the time, man. What happens in this locker room, in this building, stays in this building, especially injuries throughout the week. You do not get in front of the media and talk about your injuries. And every coach mentions that. So that's very uncharacteristic of Sean to go on and talk about his quarterback injuries. And Bo, he was very annoyed by that. Very annoyed by that. It's like you being in middle school or something, you're in front of the girl you like, and your mom come up and talk about, his socks stink, or he pee in the bed. And it's like, hey, Ma, you here talking my business.
Calm down.
And you don't even know what's going on. I still love you. But, hey, don't be sharing with the world what I do in this house. I'm going to be annoyed with you for a minute. Might not like you, may not talk to you at dinner, but I'm going to get over it and we're going to get back to, being a family. So I think it's something like that. I don't think it's something that is going to carry on and be harbored for too long.
Yeah. How you feeling, Lee?
Yeah, it's a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? If you know Sean, though, it's really not uncharacteristic from Sean because Sean is long-winded. You know what I'm saying? Sean talk. You know what I'm saying?
He's spilling the beans.
Bro, he talk. That's what he do. He holds great conversations, and he's an honest guy. So somebody must have asked a question, and he was answering the question. Bo didn't like that he told him a little bit too much. I'm sure as soon as he get back in the building, they'll laugh. He'll hash it out. He'll probably pull up on him like, hey, my bad. I ain't mean it like that. So, man, we got 7 months before we play a game. By the time it's time to get to it, they'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know if Cody had. Cody may have never butt heads with a coach. I just don't know.
I have.
Well, see, Cody even bumped heads with a coach before. Yeah. I know I have. I know TJ have. It's part of the business, man. You're going to bump. It's like a family. So you're going to bump heads with the head man if you do it long enough. So
Cody, you did? How long did it take you to get over it?
I mean, so one of the most, or I guess the coach that I had, I want to say issues with, because it was, I loved them, but me and Sark would go back and forth, and we were both very competitive. We brought the best out of each other. That was the best year I ever had in college, was working with Steve Sarkisian. So that's obviously, that's going to happen when you spend that much time with the coach. But yeah, I thought this was a bizarre situation. I just thought it was weird how it all played out. For Sean Payton to get out there and mention that your quarterback was going to have this injury regardless, basically saying it was going to happen sooner rather than later, and then following it up with talking about his injury history. It was weird to me. And if you caught it too, I know he mentioned it in that interview, but everyone was so shocked with Bo being hurt after the Bills game. But he said the same thing in that post-game press conference as well. He said, I went up to Bo when he was sitting with his family in the hallway, and Bo had mentioned to me that he had the same issue in high school, then he had the same issue at Auburn. And Sean Payton tried to laugh it off afterwards, but he said, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have drafted you. and he kind of chuckled, which I thought at the time didn't mean much, but now him bringing it up again is just, it's weird to me. Now, obviously, I still think he would have drafted Bo Nix, but I understand why Bo's frustrated. I wouldn't want my coach out there talking about things that he didn't have to. It's not like this was an injury report that he had to talk about past issues. He's going out there willingly saying, he's had multiple ankle injuries, and now other teams might take recognition of that, and that might become something in the future. But either way, I think this whole thing's blown out of proportion. The surgery was successful. It's a 4 to 6 week recovery. He'll be back in plenty of time for OTAs. He'll have the whole offseason to be ready to go and take another run at it next year. So, yeah, it's just weird to me, though, that Sean Payton would mention all of that. Like TJ said, too, about, coaches preach so much about not talking, about injuries.
So how was that blown out of proportion? Because you said it was shocking to you that he would go that far, that public, right?
You saying with Sean Payton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton blew it out of proportion by going in front of the media. I'm talking about the ankle injury. Yeah, at the time it was frustrating because you just have a quarterback that won the divisional round. You have a chance to go play in the AFC Championship game. But now here we are a couple weeks later talking about it still and bringing up past injury history and all these different things that I think should have been put to bed and not worried about because, like I said, successful surgery, 4 to 6 weeks to recover. He'll be right back at it and ready to go.
He also said it like it was something underlining that caused that fracture other than just a fresh fracture.
Yeah.
Like, it was something in there that they found that...
Well, it's predisposed.
That's what he was saying, is that it was sooner rather than later it was going to happen.
He said that. Yeah. By the way...
Could have waited 2 weeks. Would have been nice.
That's true. I've had screaming matches with many a coach for very different reasons, just for the record. But
we know you have.
Hey, like way more than you guys have. Trust me, like many years of it. But I know Sean, and you're right. He just talks too much, and he got carried away, and he was trying to put this in some perspective because he's still trying to explain to himself why you lost. You lost Bo. That's why you lost. And he said, when you look at the play, ... He didn't finish the sentence, but when I look at the play and the kid Bishop comes up from safety and just sort of ankle tackles him, and it didn't look dangerous to me. It looked routine, right? It was just kind of a routine tackle. So Sean's trying to explain it to himself as in, well, it had to be a ticking time bomb of an ankle. It had to be on its last thread, and it was predisposed because he's had ankle surgeries before. Well, the problem with Bo is that he was so offended, he called his own press conference. Those quotes we heard was it was a conference call press conference where he got a bunch of reporters on the call, and he said, "I want you guys to know that bang, bang, bang. That no."
Right.
And in part because next year Bo is scheduled to make $2.5 million. So I would say he was the biggest bargain in pro football this year. Is that fair? I think he was, because you guys were banging the drum for him all year, right? And now he's scheduled to make 2.5 on his rookie deal, and he obviously hadn't been extended yet. I'm sure they will take care of him, but he doesn't want the perception out there that he's damaged goods and will always be damaged goods, right? And now his coach put that out there. And it's like Sean has that TMI problem, too much information, because the more he talks and tries to show the media how much he knows inside, the more he spills. And he spilled too much, and I think he wounded his quarterback. He really offended him, and the quarterback felt like, I got to defend myself. To your point, will they sort of quote-unquote kiss and make up over the next 7 months? I hope so. I think so, although I think Bo will always be a little bit leery of him. Like, what should I not share so much with you because you might tell the media? He might think that.
No, I don't think so. It's if you came up for a contract and somebody really wanted to see your injury history, you can't hide it.
Yeah, well, I would think you can't hide it before you got drafted.
That's what was wild to me was, you guys know going through the pre-draft process.
Can't hide it.
They do. They background search. They do all of their injury history, everything. I can't believe that Sean Payton didn't already know about this. That's what I thought was wild about that comment.
Yeah.
The team knew. Maybe Sean didn't know, but,
hey, it is what it is, but I don't think you could hide it. Like, I broke my forearm in 5th grade. They knew about that. What happened to your arm right here?
Yeah.
Like, we could see it on x-rays.
Yeah.
A little slope is real thick. Like, could tell I broke it before. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think you can hide it. So, it is what it is. It's not like Sean wasn't telling people something that they can't find already. I don't think it's going to affect his contract because the Broncos is going to be the one who re-sign him. Like George Payton don't give a damn about that. He like, shit, I saw what he could do for 2 years.
There's a whole nother year.
Man, look, I already seen what the bro could do for 2 years. I'm signing him. You know what I'm saying? To whatever I got to sign him to. So,
Well, unless they think he's a ticking time bomb with that ankle that it's going to break again. I don't know.
I still sign him.
Okay.
If it break, then I just be, hope it don't break next year. 'Cause from what I seen, it looked like his ankle bothered him when he played. He's one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, like,
Ain't nothing but
it's not affecting him, you feel me? So it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I told you it was like a football tragedy because he is I don't know if you call him a running quarterback, but he's a scrambling quarterback.
Right.
And he
Mobile.
and he puts himself into all kinds of dangerous situations.
Yeah.
And
But he never get hit. He get down and
I
get out
got
of
it.
bounds. So.
I got it. It was a freaky
it was
deal.
freak. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was freak.
And I feel like an ankle's not as big as there's so many other injuries.
Yeah, I
that you
mean,
guys
look,
go
you in
through.
ACL and
Yeah.
high ankle sprains. High ankle sprains, sometimes they tell you, yeah, you
You
should have
shoulda
broke it.
Yeah.
You would have been better off if you broke it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
when I broke
So,
my ankle, it was four weeks
hard.
later, and I've never felt it again.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Well,
the
then you're
easiest,
good.
easiest surgery I ever had.
Yeah, I had high ankles on both ankles.
What?
They both be aching.
I got surgery on a high ankle, missed 10 weeks. You feel me? So
Yeah, I think that's way worse than just
got the real
fracturing, a little
surgery.
fracture in the ankle. But I think you're right. They're going to kiss and make up. They're going to be good. They got a long time, and he's not going to miss anything important. He's going to be right back training just when everybody else is. It's going to be good to go. Let's move on to the Hall of Fame, though, because there's been a lot of crazy news about the Hall of Fame. First thing is going to be Eli Manning in his second year of eligibility did not receive enough votes to get into the Hall of Fame. So Eli was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP and 4-time Pro Bowler, but never once cracked an All-Pro team, never led the NFL in passing yards or touchdown passes, and finished his career with a 500 record. So I could see a little bit of the argument here, but Cody, I want to know, how surprised are you that Eli Manning failed to get into the Hall of Fame?
I'm not too surprised, mainly because it's only his second time on the ballot, and I do believe that he will be a Hall of Famer. He should be a Hall of Famer. And he's been a finalist each of these 2 times, so it's just a matter of when, not if. But the other reason that I'm not too surprised is because of who's on that ballot. You can only have a maximum of 5 players elected to the modern era list when it comes to the Hall of Fame, and there's only 15 finalists. And when you look at that list, it's guys like Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Adam Vinatieri, Frank Gore. There's some big, Luke Kuechly. There's some big-time names on that list. So I don't think it's more of a knock on Eli. I think it's just a testament to the talent that's on the Hall of Fame ballot right now. But when it comes to what you just mentioned, Kinsey, I understand the argument that people are making about the 500 record. 117 wins, 117 losses. Was never an All-Pro, only 4 Pro Bowls. Multiple times he led the NFL with interceptions. But for me, that's all of race because of what he did in the postseason, man. He won 2 Super Bowls. And not only did he win 2 Super Bowls, he went up against the greatest quarterback of all time to win those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And the first one that he won, he was going up against an 18-0 New England Patriots team, and he found a way to get the job done at the end. Within those 2 Super Bowls, too, he threw for 550 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So it wasn't just his defense that played well. He had to play a major role in those Super Bowl wins. Also has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's one of 6 players to ever do that. 3 of those are Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, and Bart Starr. Each of those guys were first ballot Hall of Famers. The other 2, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, I think we would all agree those guys will be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yep.
So I'm not saying Eli Manning's on their level. I'm not comparing him to those guys. But to be in that company for an accomplishment like multiple Super Bowl MVPs absolutely says something. So again, not too surprised because of the players on that list, but I think it's just a matter of time for when he has his gold jacket.
I see the players on that list, and I thought he should have been on that list. Like,
Agreed.
I may not put him in over Drew Brees. Maybe Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Like, them guys are champions, but some people who remaining on the list, like, I just may not put you in because you don't got no chips. This guy is the head of the team, quarterback.
Yeah.
2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Like, what are we talking about? There's 13 quarterbacks in NFL history who got 2 or more MVPs. Like, just 13 of them. He one of them. So all them motherfuckers need to be in the Hall of Fame. That shit is hard to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely surprised, man. If it was me, I would have Drew Brees. I definitely wouldn't vote him in over Drew Brees because Drew Brees got a chip and he did numbers. But I would have both of them in there. I thought it was a year that 2 quarterbacks can go in, along with maybe Jason Witten and the kicker, and I don't know who else, but I mean, it's the bar getting moved so much to me. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be guys getting in this, like Kuechly was a dog, right? He was amazing, right? What did it translate to? What did it translate to, bro? Like a chip appearance, one? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. So I don't know. I think I just hold champions up here, bro. It's too hard to do. It's too hard to do, man. So if you're a champion, you got a great chance to get in my book. If you're a two-time champion, you the quarterback, and you was the MVP of the game, like, oh, shit, what we talking about? Well, that's easy work. So he would have been in if it was up to me. Probably first ballot, for real.
Man, I'm not surprised he didn't get in because, I mean, to your point, it's a lot of champions on that list that, you know, are going on their second and third time around. Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, you know, Adam Vinatieri. You know, you got guys like, you know, Larry Fitzgerald, no chips, Kuechly, no chips. So, you know, even Belichick, first time he didn't get in. And, you know, as every year goes by, it gets harder and harder and harder to get in. But I'm all about what you do in the biggest games, in the biggest moments. That's part of your greatness. You can do all this stuff during the regular season, be great, have all these passing yards. And when you get into them playoffs and them championships, if you ain't being successful, you can't really claim Hall of Fame status, right? Because you're not doing it in the biggest moments, in the biggest game against the greatest competition. And that's what Eli has done. So I think that alone, being MVP, winning two, even with the great defense, you know, the situational, last second drives, going down the field against the Patriots and the number one defense, right? That says a lot, man. That says a lot about your internal. And then alongside, you know, you got Payton. So don't act like that don't help you and boost your Hall of Fame status up because of, you know, your relation. And we all know that, whether you know, accept it or not, that has something to do with it. Your popularity, who are you tied to? That all matters. So I think Eli will get in probably next ballot, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he didn't get in this one. You know, it's some champions and some dogs that's really, you know, in that line right now.
I am very surprised he didn't at least get in on his second shot. This is real simple to me. When I think of Hall of Fame, it's clear cut. If you throw a name at me, I got 1 second to think yes or no. And if I say, well, you're not in my Hall of Fame. If I have to think about it, you're not in. With Eli, from day one, in the Hall of Fame. Because to your points, if you go on 2 4-0 Super Bowl runs and you beat the greatest quarterback ever head to head and you outplay him both times and outclutch him both times, you got me, man. You are in. This is Chip City. This is at the highest level. But I also say this about Eli Manning. Weirdest player in the history of the National Football League is Eli Manning because all the rest of it is crap. Seriously. Below average everywhere else except for 2 years, 2 4-0 Super Bowl runs.
But he got more playoff appearances than just those two.
Okay, yeah.
So that can't be too much crap.
Okay, so this is real crap. I'm going to show you why it's crap. Okay, let's start off with the facts.
You're just going to run off these stats.
Okay, they're not stats, they're facts. I'm going to spit facts at you. You
they
can't,
stats, those
but you can't argue with the fact he led the NFL in interceptions 3 times. You can't argue with that.
He did.
Right.
You cannot argue with the fact he was a career 60% completion rate passer. You realize Caleb was bottom of the barrel, dead last in the NFL this year with 58%. So 60% is crap for your career.
But we just put Caleb on a pedestal with his completion percentage.
Okay, I'm just saying, for a whole career of how many years? 16 years of 60%. Trust me, you know this. It's just bad football.
There are factors, though, with drops and yards per attempt. There are a lot of other factors that go into that.
If I ain't throwing a bunch of quick passes, I'm throwing it downfield.
But if I tell you your regular season record for your all 16 years is 117 wins and 117 losses, what are you going to tell me? That's pretty average, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna say, well, shit, how many times did he go to the playoffs?
Okay.
You're gonna say, shit, he went to the playoffs 6 times.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, well, how many times he won the chip? You're gonna say 2. And I'm gonna say, well, shit, he a Hall of Famer.
And how many MVPs did he get in the chip?
He 2.
Okay.
2.
Oh, he a Hall
Right,
of Famer.
so
What
wait
are
a
you talking
second.
about?
Yeah.
He's been in the playoffs 6 times, 2
He
chips.
went to the playoffs 6 times in 16 tries, right? That's not very good to me. That's not perennial Pro Bowl. He made 4 Pro Bowls in 16 seasons. Is that Hall of Fame worthy? No. And he made the playoffs 4 other times, except for the 2 Super Bowl runs, and he was crap in those 4 other times because they lost the first round game 4 other times. And in those 4 games, he was 54% completions. He was 3 touchdowns to 7 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. So in those 4 other losses, the other 4
Yeah.
years he went to the playoffs, he had 3 touchdowns to 9 turnovers in those 4 losses. But in those 2 Super Bowl runs, look at this. The first one, they went at Tampa Bay, at 13-3 Dallas. Remember, it was the TO crying, that's my quarterback for that game. They're 13-3 with the 1 seed. And they go in there and Eli beat them at home. And then he goes to Green Bay and he beats Aaron Rodgers and the 14-3 Packers in the cold. And then he goes, to your point, and beats 18-0 Tom Brady.
18-0.
18-0?
Yeah.
And then the next Super Bowl run, they go Atlanta, at Green Bay, which was 15-1, and at San Francisco in overtime, and they were 13-3. Okay, this is spectacular stuff. And in those 2 4-0 runs, he goes 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Think about that. 15-2 and completed 63% of his passes. Well, that's like another human being. That's like a different guy. From all the other things I just told you, he turned into somebody else twice. And for that reason, he's in my Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Because
Mine too.
you can't find it. It's beyond Drew Brees. It is. It's beyond what Drew Brees did. Drew Brees didn't have playoff runs like this.
Nope. So if I ask Cody, you'd rather go to the playoffs 9 times out of 17 years and have no chips, or you'd rather go to the playoffs 6 times, had 2 chips, be the MVP twice out of 16. Like, what are you picking?
Yeah,
That one.
Yeah,
Easy,
not-
right?
not-
All right,
two rings.
so that's Warren Moon. If you'd rather go to the playoffs 10 times out of 17 years and have no chips, or have Eli's, which one are you picking?
Eli.
Eli's.
Okay.
All right, so that's Dan Marino's. All right, you'd rather go to the playoffs. You'd rather go to the playoffs 8 times out of 11 seasons. So you're in the playoffs every year. Go to 4 Super Bowls and have no chips, or Eli Manning's. Which one you picking?
Eli.
Eli. So like, bro, every quarterback in the world is gonna pick Eli career over those 3 Hall of Famers.
Okay?
That's just the first ballot
Okay,
to me.
So just keep it in perspective. So Eli's New York Football Giants missed the playoffs 10 times out of his 16 years. And we're saying first ballot Hall of Famer. And I'm good with that, but that's how weird he was.
I mean, because there's players in
It is,
there,
yeah, it is
it's
confusing.
quarterbacks in there who did the same. Like, if you went to the playoffs 9 times and out of 17 years, okay, you didn't go 8 years. But Warren Moon in the Hall of Fame, he got 0 chips.
Yeah.
You win he in the Hall of Fame, so
Yeah. Well, all the boys still think Eli is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
I assume next year.
All
I
right,
hope
but-
so.
Well, I do have some exciting news, you guys, because we got to bring in a really exciting guest. I would like to welcome to the arena 3-time Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP, and New England Patriots Hall of Famer, Julian Edelman.
My guy.
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Miss you, dude.
Jules.
What's up, baby?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Mr. Skip, looking
How are you?
great.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Kinsey.
Julian,
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Never met you. So, doggy.
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Good, brother? Man. Yes, sir.
This is the Gridiron.
You in the
Yeah,
arena,
man.
baby.
Arena.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
You good, brother?
I'm great.
Yeah, man. We just
So I got to know, what happened when he guarded him? Who won?
He made me better.
Did he?
Yeah, we used to go, when he first got into New England, they would bring in Aqib, and they wanted to see where he was, what he could do. We talked about this on our podcast, Games with Names. And so after practice for, I want to say 8 weeks, I was designated to run routes on him one-on-one after practice. And, you know, a lot of early he got me, but, you know, I learned him, You know, when you go against someone so much, someone who's especially very instinctive like him,
Yep.
I'm an instinctive player. I can manipulate those instincts sometimes. So I think we got each other both a handful of times.
Of course. Great
would agree?
matchups. Great matchups. Yeah.
It's just, you know,
I
Aqib
think
just
Bill
likes to
was more-
squat. He
Bill
just
was-
likes to squat on that route.
You got to take me up top.
and then you
show
just got to
me.
go. You got to get on his
But
toes.
I think Bill used to try to just really make me get in shape. Like, you're going to do some extra shit versus Jules after. You know, Jules could go all day. Me and TJ was talking about this shit. He like a machine.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, don't get tired. So it wasn't nothing for him to go after practice and get 12 more routes. But Bill wanted me to be in that playoff type shape. You ain't never been in New England, so we got to be ready to play late in the season. So I think he was really just getting me in shape. So Jules got me better too, man. Just, you know, working against the slot. I probably never went in the slot in Tampa. He was going to have me following guys, going to the slot, going everywhere. So he was just getting me ready, man. We great battles, baby.
Dude, I wouldn't
Great
be the
battles,
player I
for
am
sure.
without him.
So you won more than he won? Is
Oh,
that what you're
yeah.
saying?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
To sum it all up, Skip. Oh, yeah. For
He may have
sure.
won more.
Yeah.
But the last time we went up against each other, I
Yeah.
had his number. I don't think I missed a route.
Yeah, he was
That
cooking.
Super
He was
Bowl
cooking in the
18.
Super Bowl. You know what he was doing? Everything was outbreaking. That was one of them game plans. You know, they everything in breaking. We got to the Super Bowl, they outbreaking.
Y'all
Outbreaking.
remember the 3rd and 10s against Kansas City. If you guys remember it, they remember it. So
Right.
we just tagged everything off that and broke it out.
Yep. They just switched it all up. So
And that goes into an instinctive player, an instinctive guy. Some guys are over instinct.
Yeah.
So if you know they're going to study the game plan, you could run a route on them, and you just run that same exact stem and get him at that top, and you can get him going the other way because he's been watching that all week. So that was a fun example of that.
So
it was great.
before we go, Kinsey, quick early first take story. This is back in the summer of, what was your first summer? 2009. So you played a Thursday night preseason game. I think you played several, but it was maybe the last one. And we had a first take meeting at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut that Friday morning, 7:30 a.m. And I walk in just gushing about this little guy for the Patriots. And the producer at the time, whose name I will not speak publicly, said, well, wait a second. You're talking about that little white guy, the quarterback from Kent State? I said, he's just electric. He's returning punts. He's playing in the slot.
Going crazy.
He said, he won't make the team. I said, yes, he will. They will find a spot for him. And they all thought I was just crazy. And the rest is NFL history, because I wouldn't have thought at that moment you were going to be a Super Bowl MVP. But man, you came from a long way away to pull this off.
Well, I appreciate that. And to your credit, that receiver room when I got in there was pretty stacked.
It was.
They trade for Greg Lewis, who was
yeah.
a really great football player for
Yeah.
the Philadelphia Eagles. They bring in Joey Galloway, who was older,
but he was
could
a
still
stud.
run.
Oh, God.
You got Wes, you got Randy Moss, you got Sam Aiken, who's a special teams
Whoa.
captain. So it was already a pretty crammed room. So it was a long shot. It was definitely
and
a long
you're
shot.
a seventh round quarterback in college.
Mm-hmm.
Had you played any receiver at all?
I have not. I had not. I was a running back in Pop Warner, so I always had field vision. I knew how to run the football. Late in my career at Kent, I returned 2 punts because we weren't going to make anything. We weren't going to make a bowl game. And at that time, I went up to my coach. I was like, I want to go try to get drafted or something. And Coach Martin, Doug Martin at the time, said, hey, we'll throw you back there, return a punt. Returned 1 punt, didn't get anything. And that was kind of my whole college career. It was mostly quarterback.
Yeah, and my big point about you early was you were just absolutely fearless, which you had to be to make it.
See, and you know, I know we ain't talking about my dog yet, but only a guy like Bill find a diamond in the rough like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Only a guy like
Well, I
he
feel
don't
like
get credit for that kind of shit.
I know, but
You
he
what I'm saying?
found Bill. I mean, it's like he wouldn't let Bill ignore him, man.
But I mean, everybody else ain't bring him in. 7th round, like Bill brought him in, punch wide out. I see his movement.
Yeah.
He could play in the
I'll
slot
give
for
you
us. He
that.
like West.
Well,
He
they-
got better movement than him. Like
They worked me out 3 times. So coming out for the draft, they first brought over Ivan Fears. They thought I was going to be a 3rd down running back.
Oh, wow.
Because I was very hard to bring down in college. And once Ivan saw I could run routes, they sent out Scotty O'Brien, Chatty O,
Yeah.
receiver coach and the special teams coordinator to see if I could catch punts. And so that was kind of like, they didn't know what I was going to play, but they knew I could play football. And getting to that point, going to New England was the best thing to happen to me because, like you said, I was a tough football player. I had a lot of tough football players to learn from.
Yeah.
Watching Wes Welker, watching, Teddy Bruschi late in his career, Kevin Falk later in his career. There were so many guys that, like, if you weren't given that kind of effort or fearlessness, you were never going to see the field. So that's kind of the environment bringing me up to what I wanted to be. I think if that makes sense.
Hell yeah. See, Bill don't get credit. See, Skip thinks Bill is just a product
I know,
of
we're gonna
time.
get
So I
to
just
that.
got to show him. Sometimes I got to show him the shit that Bill did. Like, Bill don't get credit for that. Like, he put that shit together. Motherfucker, like, Gronk. Who knew Gronk in college? We didn't know who the fuck he was. Greatest time.
Hey, everybody knows Gronk.
Like, bro, we ain't.
You just have back
He
problems.
didn't.
Exactly. But
But
he
when
wasn't
he was
going
out
crazy.
there,
Like,
that motherfucker
like,
was a
come on, bro.
problem.
I think he was an All-American freshman.
Problem.
He was like that at Arizona.
But motherfuckers gonna say he was gonna be the best. When you saw he was gonna be the best of all time, but why he wasn't the top
we
12
always
pick
talk about
then?
when you in the NFL, it's kind of
He didn't play his sophomore year.
Exactly.
And then he
So,
went out his junior. He didn't play his junior year either, so there was a huge red
so
flag.
it take a genius to say he gonna be the best tight end ever. I'm
And
gonna
I
get him
agree,
for the
like-
low, and
But
we'll
also-
re-sign him early.
But you got to go to this. When you have 3 Super Bowls and you have a system in place, you can take risks on guys like Rob, on guys like me, because you have Tom Brady and you have a system in place where, a coach that's coming in and he's got to change things right away. He just got the team. He can't take a chance on me. He needs a guy that can come in and play right away. You know what I mean? So that's the almost the unfairness of having a system in play when you're in the league, I think.
And to Aqib's point, I get what you're saying, though. When you get to that, maybe not second, but third round and beyond, like the first round's easy. These are the top 30
Easy
players.
work.
I'm picking these guys. You
Yep.
can't go wrong. A lot of these
That's
guys,
easy.
even though they don't pan out always, but a lot of these guys, at least you're not going to get shit for drafting them. When you get to those mid to late round guys, that's when the strategy comes into place, and a lot of hit or misses in those late
Hell
rounds.
yeah.
So I do give Bill a lot of credit
and
for that.
Aqib, Tom had to keep telling Bill, I want this guy.
how
Well,
you
he
think
did.
it went.
Well, he did.
That's how you think it went.
No, I know, because Tom is saying, I can work with that. Like,
Tom had Moss, West. He just told you everybody who was in
Yeah,
Tom.
that might be
Tom
tough.
won't worry about Jules.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
had
I'm
to
saying?
make some
Jules,
plays
when-
on special teams.
yeah, and guess
listen.
what? His rookie year, he started 7 games in that group. In that big receiver room, you started 7 games. That's incredible.
Did I start 7?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Wes got hurt week 2 against
Yeah.
the Jets. That's when I had 10 for like 100, my first game. And then,
Then Tom was like, okay, I can fuck with bro.
no, but it was hard to gain his
You're
trust.
set on this.
So, like, I still didn't have his trust when Wes got back into the lineup. So once he came back, I got kind of shuffled into the mix, went back to special teams, and then Wes tore his ACL in Houston, the last game of the season. And he had like 125 catches or something. And we couldn't do anything with a win or loss. But Wes was out there playing, tore his ACL on the first drive, and then I balled out a little bit in that and in the playoff game. But my next 2 years, I only had 7 catches. You know what I mean? So like it was one of those things where, yeah, Tom was probably he saw I could play, but
Yeah.
I still had to earn my seat at the table time in and time again at practice, in games, and that took me some years.
Yeah, I understand. But in the end, how many choice routes did you run for Tom Brady? Because that's
That's
what
all they ran.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's. But he's got to be able to trust that
Right.
he's making the correct choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes to me playing quarterback. That I think
Yeah,
that transition
absolutely.
helped me. I knew
Yeah.
the field. I knew spatial awareness.
Yeah.
I knew quarterbacks' pet peeves, getting flat to downhill on in cuts, cutting off the angles on out cuts, protecting throw. I knew all that stuff. So like that's why he was comfortable with throwing to me and the zone stuff. But it took me a long time to learn how to use my body and run a route off a guy. That's like dancing. You gotta feel it. You know, when he moves, you got to manipulate that move. You got to reset the stem. And it took me a lot of time to figure that out. I was always gifted with the ball in my hand, and I always thought to myself, if I could treat running routes like it was with the ball in my hand, I'd be better, but it took me some time to get there.
Yeah, and you did make Tom look pretty good in the fourth quarter of that Atlanta comeback Super Bowl, right?
Hey, one of the greatest catches ever.
Ever.
There was a lot of great plays. Malcolm Mitchell, for a rookie, went in and made some huge stopper routes, the 20-yard stopper routes. Hogan had a big play.
He did.
Amendola had a huge play. James White had
a running back. Yep.
Yeah, I think he had 15 catches.
Yep.
So I mean, it goes to, the team. The best team won that day. The best team won that day.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to have Julian on the rest of the show.
Right,
so let's
go.
get right into it. And obviously, you guys know he spent 12 years with the Patriots. So, of course, we got to talk about that. So right now, you guys are 4.5-point favorites, or underdogs.
Underdogs.
And you guys went 8 years as favorites in the Super Bowl. So this is a big change of things. And your favorite, Sam Darnold right now is the NFC Super Bowl favorite right now.
Sure he is.
I'm sure you're shocked by this.
No.
So you're not?
Not yet. We'll
Cody
see what
not
happens.
neither. He ain't either.
Not either.
He hates Sam Darnold.
I don't hate Sam Darnold. I just think
It's okay.
Jules, he calls him Same Darnold
Same
all
every
year
time.
long.
It's okay,
He still
Skip.
doesn't put
Because he said
respect
he's
on
going to do
his
the
name.
same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, man, he conquered some demons last week. That's
did.
for
He did.
sure.
Yeah.
He did.
And we had to see that. And can he do it again? So I mean, if you look at his most important games, when games counted the most, he struggled before last week.
Yep.
So I mean, he's got a valid point.
Yeah.
You got to see it before you can just anoint something.
Got to earn it, baby.
But do you think that the Seahawks should be 4.5-point favorites?
I think they should be favorites. I don't know about 4.5, maybe 2.5.
That's pretty steep.
I think it should be a coin flip. Patriots 9-0 on the road is huge.
It is.
Patriots having experience, not with this team, but offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels been in 10 Super Bowls. The Rabes has been in 4 or 5 Super Bowls as a player. Mr. Kraft's been in a 12, whatever, a lot of
11.
Super
Yeah.
Bowls.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a value to having experience for the distractions and the variables that you're going to have to go through in a Super Bowl game. Preparing for the long halftime, dividing practice up. That's what we used to do. Now, this is a completely different staff, but they can pull all the great information and the great experience that they went through with Bill, or as a player with Bill, or as an offensive coordinator calling plays in certain situations, having to know that we need 6 2-point plays this week because this defense, these things matter. So I don't think that a 3.5-point, 4-point spread, I think that's a lot. They're not getting enough respect, and that defense is pretty dang good. Milt Williams in the middle of that thing with Barmore. What does Sam Darnold struggle with?
Pressure in his face.
It's pressure in his face. Who is the biggest, baddest dude on the field right now?
Milton.
Milton Williams. What did he get paid a whole lot of money for?
Stop the run and get pressure.
Do what he's doing right now in the playoffs. Was gone for 5 weeks. The Patriots defense was different. Spillane being in is going to be huge, but I think that defense, because of the corners, because of the 2 young Cal safeties, they got ball players, young guys that they drafted, guys that they brought in are playing really good defense.
They are.
I don't care about the offenses they've been playing. The playoffs are different, man.
Cody, you want to counter that?
No, I mean, I just talking about Sam. That's been my biggest thing all year, too. And everyone says, well, he hasn't performed in the playoffs. I think because of how long his career's been, we forget that he's only had one other playoff game. And yes, it was bad, but even though, he's been in the league for a while, he's still learning right now. And we're seeing him overcome those demons. Last week was huge for me. That gave me a lot of confidence for Sam going into this game. But I've been saying it, too. I'm with Jules on that. Don't sleep on New England. I think it's a lot more close than people are saying. When you look at the media, a lot of people have been saying, it's going to be a blowout. The Stevens is going to shut them down. You know as well as anybody, and I love what you said talking about that Super Bowl. Josh McDaniels, who I spent a year with, is so damn good at breaking tendencies. He's going to show you stuff on film, show you the same play over and over, and then in the biggest game like this, when you give him 2 weeks to prepare for a defense, he's going to mix things up and change everything, and now you're going to be on your heels as a defense the entire game. So, I think it's going to be a great chess match going back and forth, both sides of the football. Seattle's offense, New England's defense, and then New England's offense going against Mike McDonald and that defense. But I don't think it's 4.5. I think it's right around even. I think it's going to be a really good game.
2.5, 3.
I think the 4.5, just go ahead, boy.
Yeah, just for a Super Bowl in general, these are the 2 best teams in the league. So 4.5 may be a stretch, but when you look at Seattle and how explosive they've been on offense. We talk about Sam Darnold not turning the ball over, just taking even the sacks. Even if the Patriots do get those sacks, punt the ball and play defense yourself. And what bothers me about the Patriots, besides that, I just don't like you guys. But you guys are a great organization. But with this team, it's different. I think it's a complete different team than the Brady and the experience you guys had and all the pieces you guys had everywhere, right? From the secondary to the receivers to the O-line, mainly the quarterback, linebackers. You guys had guys in every position. The inexperience at quarterback, I don't think the O-line is as strong. You have stout D linemen up front, but I think your linebackers are a casualty, and you have a young secondary.
Yeah.
You have a young secondary. Gonzalez, my guy from Oregon, dog. Straight dog. But we seen him get took up top first play of the game. Backup quarterback, third receiver of the Denver offense. And I think our Denver's O-line came into that game overconfident. They are half the reason that we got exposed on offense in that game, because you guys kicked our butt up front.
No, I think it was just no bowl, but go ahead.
I mean, no bowl, of course. Of course, no bowl.
It was
but look, if you look at that tape, man, for us having the best O-line in football, they beat us up front. We couldn't run the ball much. If we would have kept giving it to RJ a little bit more on the outsides, I think we would have been a little better off. And, of course, Bo gets out of those situations where they come straight up the middle. He's gone already. You know what I'm saying? We definitely missed that. But I think if Seattle can run the ball, you know, and continue to get JSN the ball down the field, I know that the Patriots haven't seen explosive offenses like this, especially in the playoffs. You got C.J. Stroud, who came in. They could have been able to run the ball, but they got so far down with them giving away interceptions, they couldn't stick to it. We had our backup quarterback. The Chargers' O-line was in disarray. So I'm not going to say it's been lucky, but you guys have definitely been fortunate on your road to the Super Bowl. And that's all I'm saying. Keep the turnovers down with Seattle, run the ball, and keep doing what they're doing. I think Sam Darnold definitely has an edge, and he can win this game by a touchdown for sure.
I thought you were 2 touchdowns. No?
I said 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, I thought you did. But
2 score.
Oh.
Him and Gerald both said 2 score.
Yeah,
No, you wasn't
I wasn't here.
That was Gerald.
They could get there. They could get there.
Yeah.
But I have faith. I think that the Patriots are going to outcoach them.
But you know, the coach is not on the field.
Yeah, but
the coaches play a major
can
part,
manipulate a whole lot of everything. Personnel groups, coverages, what the defense is going to be comfortable in. I mean, I really do think the McDaniels-Vrabel connection on defense and offense, they have an edge. I mean, I looked at some of the stats when Vrabel was a head coach playing against McDonald when he was, linebackers. They're like 2-1. So they've played each other. They've felt each other. It may not have been him as the DC, but he knows kind of where he's coming from. So I just really think when it comes down to it, Josh McDaniels, 2 weeks, having to prepare against this Seattle defense that gave up how many points last week?
Getting scraped.
How many points they give up? And I understand against
27.
the MVP candidate. Who's the other MVP candidate?
Drake May.
Drake May. Hasn't played his best game yet.
Right.
2 weeks to prepare in a nice environment, no snowstorm. I think he's going to have the game of his life.
And I think that's where the spread comes from. It comes from May games kind of going down like this and Darnold shit going like this. So you just ride with the hot hand. That's what they do. If you know how the books, I talk about this shit all year. If they do make it Patriots plus 1.5, bro, the book's gonna be fucking. Everybody gonna pick Seattle. They just gotta give you some points to balance it closer to the game. It's gonna come down a little bit. They just gotta balance that shit out. So they just playing hot. You gotta get a hot team the credit right now. So that's all they doing, man. We know it's gonna be a fucking dogfight now.
If Drake wants to have the game of his life, though, then that offensive line needs to protect him, because he got sacked 47 times this year, and he's been sacked 15 times through 3 games in the playoff. And I promise you, Mike McDonald is going to dial up some of those pressure looks. I know Josh
with all those pressures,
we'll get some chips.
When do those
help with the
pressures
tight
come?
ends. Third down.
What third down?
Third in passing situations.
So
They're
third
really
and
good
7 plus.
Yes, putting you.
That's your exotic. That's your exotic area,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that defensive line's got Benito or Cooper on there? I know Lawrence and I know Byron and I know the boys.
Yeah.
Do you think they got Anderson and other guy from?
Yeah.
They've been callous to really good defensive lines. I think that's a young football player learning on the go. Will Campbell.
Yeah.
You know, I really think that Josh can protect him in those passing situations. Chips.
I agree.
You get the tight
But
end over there.
Not just the playoffs. 47 sacks on Drake in the regular season was top 5 in the league. They were getting constant pressure. Now, I know Drake
where all them 47 sacks.
Drake does look to run. He'll take off and hurt you with his legs. So some of those are from him holding the ball a little bit too long, trying to find a run lane when the play breaks down. But still, that's something that you got to focus.
Is, right.
You
And
got
with
2
those
rookies on the left side. I promise you, Mike McDonald's going to try to attack those guys.
They had 47 sacks during the regular season.
Yep.
And he's still a fucking MVP
Agreed.
runner-up. You know what I'm saying? So it's the good with the bad. It ain't gonna be perfect. That might be a good thing. Maybe Stiddy should have knew how to take a fucking sack. You feel me?
No,
that might be a good thing. He eat it sometimes. He take off running sometimes. It might be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That he knows how to take a sack, when to take a sack.
Will Campbell, he did well against our pass rushes because we were mainly speed. When he has to deal with speed and power, it's more of an issue. And I think that's where the Seahawks D-line may be a little bit better because we always talk about matchups. It ain't about what you did against this team. It's just how we match up against each other. That D-line with Leonard Williams in the middle, you know, they're pretty formidable. So it is going to be exciting. It's going to be, a game to see how the back and forth goes and, what leaks for each team in this game. But I definitely think the 4.5 points is,
I know, Cody, you've been pretty stern this whole time on Seattle. Now Jules is here. You're kind of like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be close.
I said last week. I think.
Kinsey.
Right?
No,
I'm like,
no.
Take it a little bit.
Hey, check the tape.
Big brother had to come on set. Big brother had to come on set.
Hey, check the tape. I said last week that I think Seattle is a favorite, but don't sleep on New England. I've been riding with New England all playoffs. I'm the only one on this couch that picked them to beat the Texans. We were sitting here talking about it, and you guys thought they were going to run out of that luck. I said, don't sleep on New England. And I was with the Patriots back in 2019, so I've got some love for the people back in Foxborough.
The one thing that Seattle's not going to be able to take advantage of, which they've done all playoffs, is an incompetent special teams unit, a non-complimentary football. They're playing a team that's designed like them.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots, if they can get an explosion play on with Marcus Jones on a punt return or on a kickoff. They can take the ball away with there's a whole lot of similarities with how these teams want to play. So if it becomes a nitty-gritty, grindy game, you're going to take Drake May or you're going to take a guy like Sam Darnold, who, when those kind of games have come, in important games, it's, that pressure in the pocket with Barmore and Melton.
Sam's my guy.
I
know. What you want
First
about
SC
Sam.
quarterback never being a bull. I mean, you guys got to stick together.
Yeah, we got to ride together.
He make plays, man.
He's got 30 wins, though, in the last 2 seasons.
He's made plays the last 3 tough spots.
Yeah.
I know, but
we
you don't
just talking about this with Eli.
You don't win 30 games.
I know it's a completely different team. I know it's a completely different regime. You don't think Sam Darnold that night when he found out he was playing the Patriots started seeing ghosts?
I love that fact.
A little bit.
The ghosts.
You don't think
this is a perfect stadium too? Like that game.
You don't think he had a nightmare?
I'm seeing ghosts, and now you're playing.
You don't think he had a nightmare?
I don't think so, man. I think he's learned from it.
So
I think it's helped him going through that.
Yeah, go ahead, Skip.
Let me talk about the player I allegedly hate, Sam Darnold, the runaway now choice for Super Bowl MVP. So here's the truth. The public is overreacting to one great game, and it was great. And I told you, I give him his flowers, but I don't crown him because there's still one more game to go, the biggest game of his life, against a really good defense and a really smart defense. So look at Sam's year, start to finish. He got off to a really good start until week 5, and Baker Mayfield visited Seattle, and it went to the wire. And what did Sam Darnold do with 54 seconds left in that game? With the ball, he threw a pick to Levante David that gave the visiting team a walk-off field goal. That was classic, vintage Sam Darnold, right? We came in here and talked about it the next day. When we hit week 10 through week 18, he really crumbled, and he finished down the stretch 9 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and finished overall in QBR, your favorite stat, Aqib, he finished 19th in QBR. So I can't call that a great year by Sam, but then we get to the first playoff game, which was the second game in a row against your 49ers. And what did he do? He threw for a grand total of 124 yards, and he went along for the ride, and he game managed because they ran for 175 yards.
Scored a touchdown on special teams and all.
They did. Congratulations, game over for your 49ers. So then we get to the NFC Championship game, and he did play great against a team that he called out again and again on this show for having no corners. And I don't know what happened to Emmanuel Forbes, who was their starter. He didn't even play the first half of that game,
hurt.
right?
He was hurt.
He was hurt, but then he came back and played the whole second half, and he still looked hurt to me. So they don't have either corner, and Sam's just going up and down the
They
field.
had Kobe Durant. He
Yeah.
ball all
Safety.
season.
Yeah,
I play corner.
He played safety.
yeah, and
Durant?
Yeah.
and Kobe Durant was the guy
Play
on
corner.
He was on Cole Kmet in the corner of the end zone, right? On the Caleb throw that was the greatest throw we'd ever seen. And you said if you were Kobe Durant, you got to just stick to your guy and not get lost looking for the football, right?
Posture.
Okay. All right. So,
He was on the tight end. He played safety, but
No,
yeah. Okay.
he
So,
might be going to tight end.
so here's the other thing.
they don't fucking play safety.
Here's the other thing about the Seattle Seahawks. I saw your man Tom Brady the other night. I think he's on Fallon. He was talking about this Seattle defense is all-time great. That was a quote from Tom Brady. And I'm thinking, wait, I just watched him in the NFC Championship game give up 8.3 yards per snap. Every time that Matt Stafford snapped the football, he averaged 8.3 yards per game. Okay, that's a lot, man. That doesn't sound all-time great to me.
Talking about the NFL.
You're talking about Sean McVay, Stafford.
Okay,
Cooper,
I'm down to
Devontae.
say-
That's the one
Tyron.
matchup that the
Okay.
Seahawks had a problem with also.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
even in the first matchup, they what was it 13-7?
That ain't the one because Baker and them came and gave him damn near a 40 ball. So
Yep. No.
38 or some shit.
Okay.
It ain't the one. So
All right. So what did we see from your young quarterback? He put up MVP numbers, and I thought at the end of the year he deserved MVP. And yet he had to just go through Jesse Minter's Chargers defense, and then DeMeco Ryans Texans defense, and then these guys have been just beating me up all year about this is the best defense in pro football, Vance Joseph's defense, right?
Damn good.
they are.
And he had to figure out how to win the game with his legs instead of his arm, in part because of the conditions and in part because that's just the way the game went. Did he do that? Yeah, he did that. Is he a special kid? He is. He's a special kid. I think we can all conclude that. I think we have a big enough body of work to say, you got a quarterback, man, right?
I agree, yeah. Drake has played great. He's exceeded my expectations for year 2, year 1 with Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
I knew that he would be a better product this year than he was last year because I knew what he was being taught. And I knew who was teaching it to him with Josh. I knew that Josh, with his protections,
Yep.
putting more on the quarterback.
Yep.
I know he was in a West Coast offense last year. Those are kind of like, those offenses are great. But they're less dependent on what the quarterback sees unless you get the hybrid with, Matt Stafford, who has a drop back pass game and that West Coast, first 15 thing that they do.
Yeah.
So I really do think that he has exceeded everything that I thought he was going to do. And when you get to a point like this and you're playing in a game like this, confidence is a crazy thing. These guys believe they can win. When everyone in the locker room can look at each other and you believe you can win, when you're not supposed to, or when everyone's going against you, that's gonna let those guys play freely. They're gonna prepare hard. I mean, I think that they're in a good spot, and I do think Drake's played lights out. He struggled a little this offseason.
Speaking of that, what type of mindset did you guys have going up against the Legion of Boom in that Super Bowl when they had that good of a defense?
Our mindset was,
Because you knew it was going to be a battle.
you knew it was going to be a battle. You knew you weren't going to get big plays.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to be a dogfight. And any time you got a ball, we were just always, coach, you have to get vertical because they swarm. They played that Seattle 6, which is like a post safety zone. And it matches like a man in certain downs and distances, so it can kind of confuse you, but it also leaves them vulnerable. The strength of that defense was the defensive line could get at you because the coverage was so good, and everyone was on a line. So if the ball was thrown out, everyone was going and converging on the ball. So the main coaching point was, guys, we're not going to get that many big plays. They ended up going into man coverage in that fringe shot when we hit Gronk on that one-on-one when they brought the linebacker out there. That's like our one big play. but we knew that it was going to be a dogfight and that you couldn't turn the ball over, which we did a couple times, and that we had to get vertical and stay on pace for the down and distances. You just knew it was going to come down to the last play and hold on to the ball, catch the ball, get vertical. No sideways. You can't. When a defense is well coached, knows how to tackle, it's tough to just go out there and
hold on to the ball. Well, let's not forget that Drake May had 6 fumbles, 2 interceptions in this playoff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know you're talking about Sam Darnold and his turnovers.
Yeah.
You got to look at the big games, the playoffs.
Yeah.
Drake May has struggled too. He got lucky. He only lost 3 of those fumbles.
Yeah. And you talk about the D-line, Jules, like all these Super Bowls, a lot of these Super Bowls come down to how that D-line play.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it year in and year out. What did the D-line do? Whether it was Tampa Bay Bucks, the Denver Broncos, your Patriots, Giants, Eli and them, Legion of Boom. What is that D-line? Who D-line is going to play better?
I do want to get your pick, though. So what's your pick for the game? Have you...
I can't get that out of here, right?
Okay. Aw, dang. I tried.
I gotta look at the injury reports. There could be some dude that goes to Mexico,
That's
like
fair.
the Raiders back in the day.
They always are going to give their best.
One guy's going to get kicked out of the camp. Who knows?
Very fair. But I'm sure you're right.
We know who it's going to be, though. Easy. I'm
Yeah.
with you, though. I'm riding with the Patriots, too. It's easy work.
Are you?
I don't think it's
I
going to
think
be
I am.
easy.
Dang, I don't think we're going to have a bet this year. I thought we were going to have a bet.
I
We're
might
going to
just
last
ride
bet of the
against Skip
season.
just to make it
I
interesting.
think,
No.
I think he's afraid of me now.
Oh, you okay? He won a dinner and now.
I do think Drake was hindered last week, though, at the beginning of that
Yeah.
game of taking care of the football, and it affected him
Okay.
and how he
Yeah.
played.
I mean, that's why he had,
Yeah.
60 yards?
If you
now?
looked at him in the pocket last week, early in the game when they were struggling, especially feeling that speed of Benito and Cooper on those ends, they were a little uneasy the beginning of that game, but it also looked like Drake was trying to take care of that ball and didn't want to lose the game. So, I think these 2 weeks learning from that experience, look, he's shown he learns from his experiences.
Yeah.
Like all the things he did bad in a game, he's gotten better from in the next few weeks, and it's happened like that all year. So that's what you're kind of trying to project, right?
And sometimes that's a sign of a good quarterback. Just don't lose it. Don't two-hand shuffle them up.
Yeah. Hang on to the ball.
You don't gotta do all that. You know what I'm
Especially when
saying?
you got defense like
Lean
that.
on your defense and protect the ball. Take your shots when they're there, and just play safe football, man.
Well,
Sometimes
even on the quarterback draw that he scored the touchdown on, when he got to the goal line, he did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Seattle do start putting up points, do you trust Drake May to be able to match Sam Darnold?
he did it before.
When?
I mean, he got games this year.
I
when he
mean,
put
he
up
Yeah, but
got
what
games
was
when
the
he put
strength
up
of the
points,
opponent? Let's look at the strength of the opponent with the Patriots this year.
Well, and Skip, you're talking about
Shit, they beat the Texans. They beat the Broncos.
Okay,
That's
but
a
they
great
beat the
strength
Texans when
opponent.
C.J. Stroud was lost his.
Hey, Drake May
Yeah, it was a
played
deer in
against C.J.
headlights.
Stroud. He played against the vulnerable
Yeah,
Texans defense.
Well, it
He
was.
went down and got 3 buckets.
Yeah.
His damn self.
I also think the Patriots, very similar to how our teams were, they don't call games to light up the scoreboard or to light up the stat sheet. You're literally calling the game complementary, offense, defense, special teams, on how do we get one more point than the other team.
That's what I try to explain.
Time is more valuable than points in this situation.
Yeah.
Let's take more time off of this. Hey, this situation on this 4-point play, this is going to be a quattro situation. We're going to go for, we have 4 downs to get the first down. There's all these things that come to account where I think the Patriots call the game a little differently.
All right, let's move on, though, because there is a subject I want to ask you about. Because Skip has said on the show that Bill Belichick is a product of Tom Brady. So, obviously, Tuesday we found out Bill Belichick will not be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And just to remind everyone, this man has the most playoff wins by any head coach, the most Super Bowl appearances, 9, and the most Super Bowl wins of any coach in history. So, your former quarterback, Tom Brady, he actually was on the Broncos Talk radio show, and he had this to say about Bill Belichick.
Tom, how did you react yesterday or this morning when you heard that Bill was not selected to be in the Hall of Fame in his first shot?
You know, I just think that, to me, I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said. There's nothing outside of that. Again, when it comes down to votes and, popularity and all that, then welcome to the world of voting. And you may as well go, try out for the Oscars or whatever and, get a big panel to tell you if you're good or not. So
you spent 12 seasons with Bill. So of anybody who knows on this subject, so why do you think Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how the voting goes for the Hall of Fame. I think that's above my pay grade. Is it crazy? It's definitely crazy. And to skip, to your point, I feel that both the dynasty and the Patriots were made for all three of the guys, Kraft, Bill, and Tom. I think they all needed each other. I mean, this is essentially what it was Bill was Congress. He used to pass the laws, and the players, and Tom was the sheriff. He'd enforce the law. You know what I mean? And it morphed to where Tom took it to another level. But I think that template of what Bill shared with Tom daily of how to prepare, how to make the environment as tough as possible so that when you play on the weekend, it's the easiest it's been seen. It was all implicated because of Bill Belichick. So I think it's crazy that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No.
But a lot of people hate winners, so I don't know.
True that.
You don't like seeing us win, TJ. You even said it earlier.
I know,
Everyone gets sick.
Everybody hates the Giants.
Everyone gets sick.
Look, it feels
Believe it or not,
believe it or not,
it feels good being the Giants player.
Hey, believe it or not, I got my first dub against y'all in Cleveland.
I remember.
So, it started early in my career. But,
then we got you in that one game. Then we got that one game, 2 minutes.
I was like, hey, man.
How'd you guys get that?
They
I was
cheated
part of that
us.
game.
They threw it up
2 minutes.
the last minute and gave him pass interference on the goal line. They ran it in for a touchdown, man. I was like, that's some.
How many points were we down with? Like a minute?
Man, I don't know. We kicked the onside
14
kick.
or something. How we win that game?
They got the ball. We still
How we win it?
They
I don't
threw it to
even
the
know.
end zone, pass interference, and gave him the touchdown.
Everyone hates a winner. Everyone hates a winner.
You're right. We don't know who's in that voting room.
We know two of the guys who came out and said it.
And Poland is one of them. But I'm gonna say this, and I think it has a lot to do with the Spygate issue, right? Mm-hmm. They feel burnt by that whole situation.
He won 3 Super Bowls after,
right?
Bro.
But I'm speaking for maybe what may have been.
And Jimmy Johnson came out and said, "Everybody do that shit."
Yeah,
didn't he?
What may have been. I'm not the
but they
judge
gotta make an
or the
example out of you
executioner.
almost.
But this is the only reason I could see why he didn't get in, right? Because the credentials are there, the testimonials from his players, Brady, guys like yourself, and there's 100 other guys that are going to talk about how good and how great a coach he was, and they wouldn't rather play for anybody else. But like you said, it's the opposers that may be in the situation to say, hey, I feel slighted by this. I feel slighted by the evidence being destroyed. I feel slighted by the cameraman coming forward and saying all the stuff that he did, all the archives of evidence that got destroyed, people being here, people being there, whether it was the Rams and Mike Martz or the Jets or the Packers. It's a lot of talk out there about how this situation, how Spygate affected wins and losses during that time. So those are the only reasons why I could see why he wouldn't, or why those guys, took it personal and said, hey.
Barely play the Packers, the Rams.
You know what? But they said it was.
Barely play them. Once every 4 years.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened
that
with them,
one
they
time they
was
lost.
And a guy who was part of it,
whatever they had
left and got his ass beat and felt played and
Mangini situation,
right?
Yeah.
He left and
I played for Mangini.
Like, come on,
after
bro.
he left the Jets.
That all coaches
he
was
never
doing.
spoke about it.
If Jimmy say everybody was doing it, everybody was doing it.
Yeah, he spoke to you.
Oh,
yeah. And Mangini was Mr. Belichick. We used to be like, hey, calm down on the Belichick, man.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of respect there between him and Belichick. But he's quoted saying, hey, don't do that shit in our house. When you come to New York, don't do that filming and the signs. And so I think maybe you saying Jimmy Johnson, everybody does it. I think they saying that the Patriots took it to another level, man. They did a little bit too much.
So they did. You might have saw this, Skip, but they had 2 voters that did come out and talk about why they didn't vote for Belichick. Both of them agreed that one of the reasons was that there were some senior players still on the ballot that they thought might not have another chance to get in.
Roger Craig was the big
Exactly.
one.
So they gave them their vote. But one of the voters did mention that Spygate did play a factor.
Sure.
Why he didn't vote for Bill Belichick. So
Roger Craig over Belichick?
Right, that's what I'm like, bro.
Yeah, but that
That was 1,000 guy.
It was
I get
gonna
it.
be-
He's great.
Come
I'm a
on,
nice
bro.
guy.
Wait a second. It's
Over
going to be
Belichick.
Roger Craig's last shot. If you don't give it to him now, he'll never get it.
Well, what that got to do
And that was
with
their.
Bill?
I'm just telling you what the argument was, because I agree
But
with
that's how
Jules.
it always is. It's
In
getting
what
harder
world
and
is Bill
harder. It's
Belichick
always
not a
gonna be
first ballot Hall of
someone who
Famer? He absolutely
gonna be
is.
kicked out.
Exactly. He's
I
going
just
to be the
think the
last
voters
person
are
to get
taking
left
that
out.
into account.
But
There's
Roger
no
Craig
way in no
definitely
world
belongs in the Hall
do you
of
pick
Fame,
2
though.
senior players and Kraft and just say, all right, well, I could pick Bill, Mr. Kraft, and I got all these senior players. Well, give me Kraft and these 2 senior players. Bro, that's just wrong. Like, that's a personal vendetta against somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's clear as day. So, it's bullshit.
It's crazy.
All right,
Well,
my
you guys
turn.
both play. I ain't never played.
I'm going to tell you exactly why this happened. I've known many of the voters over many years, and I'm going to remind all of you, Mr. Kraft has been up 14 times and been denied entrance into the Hall of Fame. Think about that, 14 times. The principle operating here is the same principle by which all those voters for the Baseball Hall of Fame have refused to vote for Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and Alex Rodriguez. They cheated. So
Everybody else.
like it or not, Bill did preside over the 2 biggest cheating scandals in NFL history. Spygate you mentioned, you didn't mention Deflategate. And on Spygate, I know Eric very well, Eric Mangini, and you're right. He called Bill after being his defensive coordinator, and this is Eric's first year with the Jets, and he called him the week before they were going to play each other and said, hey, you do it to everybody else, just please don't do it to me. And Bill, screw you, he did it to Eric, and Monday morning, Eric called the league office, and the rest is Spygate history. And it didn't help Bill that Don Shula, the winningest NFL coach ever, you asked me how many chips he's won. He won 3 chips. May he rest in peace. But he came out on several radio shows and called Bill Belichick Bella cheat. That resonated with a lot of voters. And I get what you're saying. And by the way, I love it that you guys are defending him because you love him with all your heart and soul because you won with him, and I respect that. But I'm just telling you the why of the voters. Then we got to Deflategate, and if you remember, this offended me. Bill called his own press conference the Saturday before you left for Phoenix to play the Legion of Boom, right? Okay, so that's the Deflategate period. And he threw Tom straight under the bus and said, don't look at me. You got to ask my quarterback. No, you're the head coach. And he knew every little detail. He's as hands-on as any head coach there's ever been in this league. And so you have an idea what your quarterback is doing. And then, as you know, Tom went to district court and won in district court against the NFL. And then the NFL, of course, took it to appeals court, and Tom said, you know what, the season is here. I can't distract my team or myself. And he took his 4-game suspension, and the rest is still Super Bowl history. But the other point is that you have to understand the voters are stepping back, looking at Bill's body of work. And all your points about Bill, I always said it was 75% Tom and 25% Bill. But you can argue it's you can split it between Kraft and Bill and Tom. And I respect that immensely. But if you look hard at Bill's record, so he's in Cleveland for 5 years and he got fired and he went 36-44. And then he goes to New England, and that first year they were 5-11. In the second year, I know this for a fact because I knew a couple of the assistants, they were ready to put their houses on the market because they fell to 0-2 quickly. And they thought they weren't going to last through the year. And then that guy from Michigan, that 6th-round pick, fell out of the skies into Bill's lap, and you can credit Bill for it. I got it, but the rest is really Super Bowl. It's GOAT history is what happened. But then Tom leaves or gets pushed out. I thought he got pushed out the back door by Mr. Kraft and Bill. But After that, Bill goes 29-38. Not great. It was kind of a disaster. And they made one playoff game at Buffalo, and the vaunted Belichick defense never made Josh Allen punt one time in that game. Not one time. So that doesn't look great that without Tom, Bill was 65-82. And then I'll throw this in because this deeply offended a lot of the voters. And you can scoff at this or condemn it, and you should. But they took it personal. The only personal is that Bill was tough on reporters because he wouldn't give you anything. He was smug. He was arrogant. He was difficult. He was, condescending. He shrugged.
Get back.
Huh?
And this they get back, right? Like, yeah, now.
There's a little of that
get
operating.
your ass back now,
okay?
Bill.
All right,
Like,
there's a little of that.
Get back, right? Like,
But-
come on, bro.
Okay, but we start with the 2 cheating scandals, and you're just going to get docked one time, and he'll be in next year. But I just think enough of the voters said you just have to take a principle stand.
All right, so Tom
Okay?
going to get docked too, right? The greatest quarterback of all time. Tom not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Shit, you never know how this is.
Yeah.
The way this
Man,
shit
come
just
on,
happened.
No.
Now, you
I'm
can't-
pretty
now,
sure.
you
There's
can't
no
be
way.
surprised. I mean, look, if
Oh,
you look
God.
at Belichick,
Yeah, it's unfair
you
that
can't
Belichick
be
has to take
surprised if it happens. First off, hey, man, look, the whole shit started off with the tuck rule, and that was a fumble. So you could say that the whole
was
dynasty
definitely
started
a
off a
fumble.
bad call.
Yeah.
And a cheat from the NFL.
By the
favoring
letter
the
of law, it
Patriots.
wasn't a fumble, though.
It wasn't.
It was a fumble.
By the rule, if the arm is going, I don't know. That's just
Arm is going
Arm is going
forward.
forward to
tuck.
get hit.
He tucked it, and
Kind
it
of
was
like
a
the
fumble.
Broncos shit. That's all. I was just trying to say the same shit.
But look,
Like,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. This is just fact after fact after fact after fact, like Skip say. Now, whatever happens based on those facts and based on how the voters see things,
Tom
obviously
was
you can't
great
be
with
surprised.
the media, and he's still in the media. Like,
Yeah.
No,
he's not going to get punished.
From what I'm saying, I'm not saying he shouldn't. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, what just happened with Belichick, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, yeah, I'm going to shut it down. I do think that it's bullshit, and he should have been in the first ballot Hall of Famer. So let's move on, though.
Well, that closed the case.
Yeah.
If you,
I take that stand.
it's over.
At the end of the day, I
Jury
think
had
this
votes.
conversation, I know you guys. We all know everybody watches the show for my opinion. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's obvious. So
You heard what Kinsey said. It's over with.
they're not here for
Next
Julian
topic.
Edelman. They're here for me.
Yeah.
All right, next topic, though. They do tell me when to move on, you know? Are you forever a Patriot? Are you rooting for this, or you want to preserve your dynasty as a Patriot?
I'm definitely rooting for him. I try to look at him unbiasedly. I know it may not sound it, but you also got to understand what I've been indoctrined and where I've been indoctrined and the football I've been indoctrined with. You know, when the tide rises, all boats float. What is it? They all float. So
Yep.
they keep on winning. It's good for all the Patriots.
Yes, sir.
And we're all Patriots,
Keep you in the
right?
spotlight.
We're all Patriots.
Well, you guys are rooting like mad for your team this year, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I know.
It's the
You guys are
Broncos.
And when the
like
tide
Broncos through
rises-
and through.
all the boats float.
All the
baby.
boats
Hey, all the boats float, baby. I want to see them go.
No, but I also, I've had a lot of great relationships with people that are still working there.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
That got a lot to do with it.
the building people, the people that are in the hallways of the tunnels, the people in the upper divisions, the training staff people, the catering
guys.
people, the equipment people, the guy that I see every day before I go out to practice. Like, everyone still works there, and I've had such great memories with these people. I know that it makes their life better if they win. So,
Yeah.
I want them to win.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you should hear these guys every day going for the Broncos. They got one ring
Exactly.
with them, and you guys are
Because you
diehard.
still got love in that
Yeah.
building. Like I call Flip Mode, right? Flip, hey, you got these 360 untouchables in navy and white. I need them for nephew. Whoop. They hit the crib the next day. Like, I still got relationships in that building. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I still got love. Vince, if something happened, Vince, hey, I was guarding my son. I think this motherfucker done tore my groin. Vince, get out here the next day. Woo, woo. I got surgery in 4 days. Like,
Wow.
the relationships is there. So it's hard not to root
Yeah.
for the guys, like Jules is saying. You know what I'm saying?
But Jules, it's just human nature to think it was 7 years ago that you were the Super Bowl MVP, and that's the last time they won the Super Bowl. So it was February the 3rd of 2019, 7 years ago. And all of a sudden, they go from 4-13 last year to 17-3, and for the fans, not New England fans, but just general NFL fans, they're thinking, man, this came pretty fast, right? Maybe it's not that hard for New England to go win another championship. So, like Tom is such a competitor, I think there's got to be part of him thinking, God, I don't know if I love this for me, because you're the gods in Patriot Nation, and all of a sudden, wait a second, there's another Patriots, and this quarterback he's not Tom Brady, but he's got a chance to be that, right? He's maybe not Tom Brady, but he's got a chance because he's just a baby, and he's going to be doing this for a long, long time, and it potentially detracts a little bit from your legacy if they can do it so fast and come from nowhere so quickly, right?
All of us know how hard it is to get there, and so them getting there this quick doesn't take anything away from what we did, you know. And I honestly feel like we got one of the homies in there with Raves.
Yeah,
you know, and I didn't play with Raves, but me and Raves hung out a bunch on a lot of these trips that we all used to go to, the Derby and stuff. So I feel like I have people in there that, and I dealt with, like, I'm not Tom, so Tom could feel a completely different way. You were getting at that. I don't know. I saw the team win Super Bowls without me before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, you know, it's kind of like I came into this thing. I'm just a part of it. And I want to see the brand keep going.
Yeah.
There's probably is some guys who don't like to see, like, they've won, and they don't like to see the team that they won with be successful.
Well, you and I have discussed one of those people, right?
You know who I'm talking about.
I do know.
When we're talking about this. It's guys who like that, but I think that them the corny guys, you know what I'm saying? The real guys who really fuck with the brand.
Yeah.
You like realize how hard it is.
Like
exactly.
Brothers coming
it's like
up
it's like your little bros, like a
you
family. Like you want to see them guys do well.
Yeah.
Like he said, when the tides, what say it again?
When the tides rise, all boats float.
All boats float. You want to see them guys float. You know what I'm saying? But trust me, I know it's guys who don't want to see those boats float.
Yeah.
They want to be the only ones. It was just us.
Yeah.
It was just us, man. It definitely is guys.
And you got to be careful with saying Drake's on his way.
Okay.
To being Tom.
No.
You gotta be, just because you get one Super Bowl.
I understand.
I mean, we look at Mahomes, right? Look at our guy Mahomes right now. Like, won those 3, went to 5. What do we see them in? It's hard. Once you get 3,
it's hard to sustain.
To keep it going, you become America's most wanted.
Right? Tom went 10 years without winning one.
But he still went to 2.
Yeah.
He still went to 2. And one undefeated.
Well, I feel like Mahomes is the only person that you could talk to.
But the thing is, we will see because
we will.
When Mahomes' athleticism goes down in the next 7-8 years, is he going to still be able to perform? Tom was anchored in that pocket his whole career, so he learned, what is the Bane? The
Bang 8, man.
He was born in it.
God,
he was born in the pocket. So
and he saw different versions of defenses and kept adapting and finding ways to win.
You know what I mean? So it's
20s, 30s, 40s. Like,
it's very, like, people don't realize that 7 number is insane in football.
Yeah.
Now, even if you get to 5, those 2 more are going to be insane to get.
Yep.
And it's not just, there has to be so many other things that come together with it. Tom taking, the Buccaneers that had the offense ready for it, a really good deep, like he couldn't have done that with us. Even if he came back, we didn't have the money. We went to Skip, because you're in the Super Bowl for 25 years, you're going to have some cap shit happen at the end. And that's what happened. So that's what it was to Tom. Here, Tom, you're going to have the same receivers, which was me, who was fucking old, and a couple other dudes. And then, or you can go over here to a new team. You couldn't spend any more money. Our team was too diverse in that middle pack. So, like, there's so many variables it takes for a quarterback to go out and win a bunch of Super Bowls.
And the game around you is changing.
And then who's the next guy?
Yeah, that system is not as efficient.
for all we know, Sam Darnold could go on a run and become the next guy who wins 4 Super Bowls, next 3 Super Bowls.
No, he can't.
Hey, talk that shit.
Yeah.
Cody, like,
that shit, dude.
you never know.
I can see that.
He's only 28.
Yeah.
He's still young, man.
He got mono out the way. He's good.
Ripped 3 off in a row.
I will say though, to add to that, like regardless,
He's healthy.
regardless of what Drake May and Braves and all these guys do, and the legacy that they build and the run they may or may not go on, what you guys did, that legacy is forever immortalized in New England history and NFL history. So I know you're rooting for these guys. You want these guys to succeed. And even if they go on a run, both legacies will be each of their own. So you can never touch what they did.
Last quick point on this. We opened the show talking about the 1985 Chicago Bears. They're voted the greatest Super Bowl team ever.
Right.
I knew a bunch of those guys, still know a lot of guys on that team. And I'm convinced, even though they haven't said this to me, but they root against the Bears. Remember Rex Grossman got them to the one Super Bowl against Payton and lost in the rain in Miami. But they root against because it was just a one-shot deal.
They only got one, Skip.
Yeah, they got one.
They only got one.
I know.
Yeah, they got to hold on to
They
that.
want to be that one.
I know. They
got 3.
one. And so they're still gods.
We're not going to get jealous off the one.
But they're gods in Chicago for the 85 Bears, and they don't want another team to steal that from them.
Right.
Because that can last forever because they just got one.
But so you think if someone else wins, no one's going to talk about the 85 Bears anymore? That's my point of the legacy.
but
On the back burner.
I know
It
it's not
brings it
quite
back
what
up.
you guys
It
do.
brings it back
You
up.
get off that
Old news
you off
now.
that front
Really?
stove. You
So
on
you
the
think
back.
they would just discredit that and not talk
Some
about it like
guys
they
will.
do
Some
now?
guys
They
think
feel
like
that
that.
It's hard
way.
for me
They
to believe
feel
that.
that
These
way.
are
Hard to
winning
believe, man.
mindsets.
I think that they would embrace the 85 team if they won it.
I think you just, like you said, you got more guys in the chip room. Now there's more champions here for this organization. So when we do put stuff together and we do certain things and we're talking about as an organization, right? You got for the Broncos, the 2000s Broncos, what was that? Late 90s or 2000s?
98,
Elway in them.
97,
Yeah, we was in Pop
Back to
Warner.
back.
Yeah.
For real. You got the
Back to
back-to-back,
back.
then you got
AD.
the Peyton Manning, no-fly zone, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware.
Insane.
If they win again, they win in their own way, but it's all adding to the pot. And I
Right.
guess that's how we look
That's
at
how
it.
we think.
But some other
everybody
guys don't look
think
at it like that, right?
Yeah.
They'll never
Everybody
talk
don't
about
think-
us again.
Right.
No, you still get rep. Like, yo, they going to win they back-to-back. You guys going to have your 3 in a row, right? Or 3.
Everybody do.
Everybody
definitely
going to have
don't
their
think like
different
that.
one. But look, we got a ring. At the end of the day, I'm going to my jewelry box. You talking trash, I'm going to pull that ring out. Shut up.
I want to look at the franchise because last year the Patriots went 4-13.
Yeah.
And then Robert Kraft made some moves. He's like, I'm going to go get Vrabel. I'm going to fire this guy one season in. So now, obviously, after going 4-13, now you're in the Super Bowl again. So looking at the franchise, is the Patriots the greatest franchise in NFL history?
You know, that's tough. You know, there's a lot of great franchises. You look at the Steelers in the 70s, they got 6 Super Bowls, 6 you know, with was it Matt or no? It was Big Ben got 2.
Big Ben.
You got the Niners in the 80s, in the 90s. You got Cowboys in the 70s, in the 90s. You know, I think they're that top tier for sure. They are. If they go out and win this, then it
Puts them up.
it puts them up there.
Yeah.
You know, but there's still other organizations with, you know, Sixburg's got 6. You know, there's a couple other knocking on the door of 6. But look, in the last 20 years, I don't think you can argue that there's a team more successful than the Patriots. So, you know, that's kind of where I stand on that.
What do you guys think, Skip?
I'm a huge Niners fan. I grew up a huge Niners fan.
Love it.
You know, so like when I came to the Patriots, I felt like I was coming to the 49ers of the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the 80s, late 80s. And how come no one talks about that 89 team of being like one of the best teams ever? Didn't they have a great defense, unbelievable offense? Joe Montana. Ronnie Lott. They got everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
So
got
like,
some dog.
That's probably on that list you were looking at this morning.
you're going to be talked about in that top tier. And that's what I think is, you know, fair. Because those other organizations are pivotal organizations for this league. Everyone has their time.
So, as a lifelong diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, I must say, if we're talking about the most popular franchise ever, it's not even close. It's
I didn't
the Dallas
say popular.
Cowboys.
Still the Dallas Cowboys.
I said the greatest.
Well, that's
Okay,
because
I know, but how we define? How do we define?
Yeah, true. How do you
Yeah.
define?
Popularity goes into that.
Okay, it does.
fair.
But I have to say this about your owner. Again, 14 times he was up for the Hall of Fame and has not gotten in. he's got to be the greatest owner ever.
Which is crazy to me.
Okay, because he's been 11 out of 12 he presided over. And it always, the buck stops on that desk of that guy. He's got to make the first, he's got to hire Belichick. He's got to stick with Belichick. He's got to referee between Belichick and Tom. And there are 1,000 little things that go on year after year after year that land on your desk. And you have to make the choice. And then I'm amazed this hasn't gotten nearly enough credit. He fired Gerard Mayo
Huge
after
ball.
1 year.
That's a big ball move.
That's
God, big
you,
ball.
You know Mayo and Mr. Crab, that's like his son. Like
His son.
he loved Mayo.
He groomed him. He positioned him.
He loved
brought
Mayo
him up.
too. Mayo loved
he
him.
raised
Apologize
him.
for it.
Right?
Man, he ain't
Yeah.
hey.
It takes a real man to have to do that.
You
But
wanna
he
talk
also
about,
gave him the op though, like just
that's the owner I
a
want.
quick.
But he also, I always talk about this with Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft, I think he's the only owner to bring 3 different coaches and quarterbacks to the Super Bowl. Parcells, Bledsoe, Brady, Belichick, now Drake and Vrabes. And Mr. Kraft was in pretty much every meeting, every day. Now, I can't tell you if he could tell you about football, but I remember being in the offensive skill room or the offensive meeting, and I could hear the offensive line coach, Scarnecchio, coaching the linemen. I don't know what but I know like the 5 most fundamental things about the linemen. Inside out, hip to hip on double. I know it just from hearing it all these years. So he's had to retain some knowledge of what football is. The one thing Mr. Kraft is brilliant at is recognizing people. He knows how to recognize, leadership to number 53 on the roster and how things are working. And it took a huge leap of faith to fire a guy that you love, to recognize you have a problem, to recognize there's something there better out there for your team to make your team better. Like that takes a lot of cojones. And I always think Mr. Kraft knows people like insanely well. And I didn't know that he didn't get in 14 years. I don't know. See, we don't even know how this all works with the owner or the coach. Isn't it 5 years?
What about Jerry and DeBarlo? Like
they're in.
I know they in, but like, did they wait like Mr. Kraft?
No.
They was first time they was up. They was in.
I'm not sure how many times. I thought Jerry went fast. I don't understand the 5 years for a player and only 1 year for a coach.
Yeah, I don't know the parameters, but that's crazy to me that he's 14 times
I ain't know
on
that neither. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? This is legendary, not just NFL stuff. This is legendary sport championship stuff, like with Real Madrid and winning the Champions League.
It is.
NBA franchises like the Bulls winning championship. Like this is like bigger than just football. This is like sport. So I think he's been snubbed as well.
Yeah, and for him to swallow the pride that Jerry would have never swallowed, like with Schottenheimer, if he decided 7-9-1 didn't work, there's no way Jerry's going to fire him because it looks bad for Jerry. But Mr. Kraft said, well, wait a second. Braves is like I got a shot here. Man, you gotta make some cold-blooded choices. And it wasn't fun for him. I don't think he enjoyed that at all.
He enjoying it now.
Two or three. It says
2 or 3.
And to that point, Robert Kraft basically went from having the greatest organization, really in all of pro sports, to watching your Hall of Fame quarterback go win a Super Bowl somewhere else. You lose your Hall of Fame head coach, should have been a first ballot, and you're coming off of back-to-back 4 and 13 seasons.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of saying, well, they're going to be in a rebuild for a while. I like the Vrabel hire, but they're at least a couple years away to getting back to where they need to be, and boom, you have them in the Super Bowl the first year. You know what was a big move I think he did too that gets overlooked was elevating Elliott Wolf from director of scouting up into executive vice president of player personnel, which is their GM, because he went out and drafted Drake May and Travion Henderson and Will Campbell and some of these other guys that have played a factor on this offense. And then in the offseason, he worked with Vrabel and went and got Milton Williams and Carlton Davis and all these big-time names that helped them succeed. So I think that was a big factor.
You got to throw Jonathan in there, too.
Yeah,
Jonathan, he's in there, and he's a brilliant dude. I've seen him. He's tough. Jonathan, he's a real tough kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like he kind of standoffish a little bit if you look at outside in, but if you get to know him, that man is smarter than anyone I've ever seen. Like I remember we were doing the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like pre-logistics on where we need to go, this, that, and he was we were talking, and someone came into him and said like, hey, well, we need to go over this, and he goes, I know what's going on, and so he's telling me the story, and he goes, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go here, this, that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna then deliver this to this. I told you, I know. And he knows everything. These guys are smart dudes that, you know, anything that they're gonna put their hands on, they're gonna bring people in that are like experts on it, and they're gonna use their judgment on how to make a decision with the experts' help. I was just so impressed with Jonathan when I got to really know him. As like he's kind of gives you that, you know, Jonathan, you roll up in there naked, getting on the scale and stuff. You know, this is my gym. You know what I mean? But he's got that dog in him where like you watch his mind work. These guys are really smart human beings.
So the point is, this is the greatest organization ever.
Yeah.
It has been for a long time, and it's a big body of work.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can argue with it.
I mean, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
But I also
You
respect.
can't argue the attention that the Cowboys have.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
But I also
on TV draw, they're like ridiculous.
And the value, I mean, what they brought. Yeah.
The most valuable team in the world.
Yeah.
And they haven't been to the NFC Championship game in 30 years.
11B or something. What is 11 now? 10.9B.
Yeah, billion.
Yeah.
Billion. Yeah.
No, there. You know, you respect. When you're there, man, you see those Niners teams and those Steelers, Terry, Bradshaw, and those, like, there's a lot of great, we're part of it. We're all part of it.
Yeah.
You guys are too with Denver. Everyone's a part of it. You know, that's what the great thing of football is.
Hey,
It's a big fraternity.
I was with you guys for 1 year in New England. I'm a part of it.
You're a part of it.
You're part of it. There you go. Lucky for Lee.
What year was that?
2019. That was
19.
Tom's last year, man. I'll never forget. You know what was wild for me, too, through my career is I went from Cleveland to Jacksonville, had a short stint with Philly in the offseason. But then I go to New England. We were 12-4 that year, and it felt like the world was falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was a standard that was unbelievable inside that building, and I fit right in right away. But it was awesome. But yeah, that was I'm a part of that dynasty too. You know.
Yeah, you are.
Someone had to back up Tom. You know what I'm talking about?
There you go. Hey,
Jules needed some. Hey, Kess, give me a couple extra throws after practice. I got you.
Come
He'd
on,
be nothing
man.
without you. I'll be honest.
I was holding on by threads.
Do you guys have any final things for Julian? Or are you guys feeling
No,
good?
we just appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
You're a legend. Thank you so much
baby.
for coming on the show.
Great in the arena. Love your guys' content. It's been fun to watch you guys. You guys all have great insight and fun insight and knowledgeable insight and
Appreciate that.
out of the box insight. So it's been really fun to watch you guys, and I'm a fan.
Plug the show. What we got going?
We got
your
games
show.
with names.
Yes, sir.
We're talking AFC Championship, the real. What did we come up with the name?
We came up with the AFC Super Bowl.
The AFC Super
That's
Bowl.
the name of our episode.
Because
Ooh.
in 2015, the winner of that AFC Championship was
That was
gonna
the
win
chip,
Super Bowl.
right? Hey, that was the chip,
sure.
really, right?
It was.
Yeah.
The AFC Super
And
Bowl.
boy, were they
baby.
good. It's hard to play. That's another thing, you know, with Drake going in there and playing in Denver. That's a tough environment
It
to
is.
play in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's the altitude. I never thought it affected me, but I've talked to a lot of our teammates. Gronk used to get all gassed on it, and you're like, yo, I can't feel my leg. You know what I mean? So like, it does mess with people, and that crowd is top 3 loudest crowds, outdoor crowds in the league.
Tough place to
Them,
play.
Kansas City, and Seattle.
Yeah. Those
So
are
I really think that's huge. That was a huge win, hard win.
All right. Well, we appreciate you so
All
much.
right,
You're a legend.
do I go?
No, you
We all going.
Okay.
But thank you guys
I don't
so
know
much
what to do
for
with my
watching.
hands.
Yeah. We've got a
Dab me up.
crazy week coming up next week. We're going to be down in San Francisco. We're going to have episodes almost every single day. Up. We're going to be up. We're not going down. We're going up to San Francisco.
up.
So we'll see you guys
bang,
next
bang.
week.
Hey, Jules,
I'm
tell
on
them
a
about
PJ.
the
I'm on a PJ with